But it was a fun game because look who won. I mean, Virginia going home.
That's true. Ultimately, the real stuff finally starts. I mean, the first four is just games that we're convincing ourselves that we really like. You know what I mean? Like they were fun, but at least now we don't have to pretend. We don't have to, kind of look through the foggy glass. It's real. It's here in earnest. 11 a.m. It's going to be life changing.
So we're going to do it appropriately. Come out and celebrate this day. Twin Peaks is going to be hosting the first round today out at the Days of Allah. That's my home field, they'll be getting going at 2 o'clock, going all the way through 7. Even James Pledger will be making an extra innings appearance from 6 to 7. So go out and join everybody. I will try to make it. I definitely will be there tomorrow. Today, I got a wood chipper coming out.
You are very excited about. Are you more excited for the wood chipper or for the tournament?
Well, the wood chipper is one thing. For those that don't know, I'm a lumberjack, and it's okay. But I felled a tree this week. Well, not you just did? Me. I watched a guy fell a tree. See, you say fell once you're in the business, and had a pretty good size mess of wood left over, and they're going to come and chip it up and get rid of it, which is worthy. But they're also bringing something I've only seen on the internets, a log splitter. Which, if I play my cards right, maybe they'll let me do it.
He's going to be sitting there while they're working. Be like, can I have a turn? Can I have a turn? Can I have a turn? Can I have a turn?
That's what I'm planning on anyway. So that's going to be my day, but it will be interspersed with lots and lots of basketball. We're going to do our very best to prepare you for it. The news coming out of Seoul, South Korea, is not good for baseball nor Shohei Ohtani. It appears his interpreter, lifelong friend, had some gambling issues. Ohtani somehow was lured into paying off these gambling debts with wire transfers that he, in fact, did author. He admitted to it, though he didn't. He's saying he didn't really know. There's lots of story. Long story short, Ohtani gambling issues, and they're losing, all rolled into one. We're going to talk a lot about this. This is such a crazy story. Wait till you hear the length and breadth of this, because it involves the Dodgers. It involves gambling. It involves gambling in a state where it's not legal. Some subterfuge, some lies, weird and bad. I think there's a smell around this that I think a lot of people are kind of afraid to see what happens next.
It is a situation where it sort of seems like there's one obvious conclusion. Now, whether or not Rob Manfred has the stones to announce that as the conclusion remains to be seen, but there's a lot of damage control happening right now, and that this happened right as the Seoul series kicked off is for the Dodgers. I don't know that anybody in that organization slept. Actually, this might have happened while they were sleeping. It might have broke, as that was happening here in the States. So not great for the Dodgers, especially so early on in the Shohei era.
Oh, frightening. So we'll be looking directly at that. The ramifications seem so far-reaching, it's hard even to begin. Yesterday, there are a couple of pro days happened. Bama had theirs. Caleb had his. Appears he did quite well. Appears that the Bears were right in making their move. I heard someone describe the Bears as the best prepared team for a number one quarterback in 30 years.
It is up there in terms of nice situations for a rookie to land in. Not every number one overall pick is afforded the opportunity to have talent around him, and a team that's already taking advantage of their rookie quarterback contract. I mean, you look at last year's team, obviously, in the Carolina Panthers, they were not in a great situation. And so I know a lot of people are already out on Bryce Young, but it's worth considering that maybe his career isn't over because that team stunk out loud last year.
And it's because of him, right?
Right.
Oh, we had a Mike McCarthy spotting. He was in Bama watching the likes of Kool-Aid McKinstry.
We have established a championship program. It's just not the world championship yet.
So he went to monitor one that has actually won some titles. The first spring game minus Saban, as Kalen DeBoers, his exiting seniors, worked out. It's good to see him out and about. That's all I'm saying. I mean, all this talk of the Cowboys and this guy who's on the end of the plank, at least he's out there looking at some talent because they're going to have to draft well.
I wonder if anybody was all hey, Mike, so this sucks, right? Like you agree that this is a disaster. And if he was like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but the checks are
Unmitigated.
still cashing, so we're all good.
It's literally unmitigated. I don't even know where to go with this. I'm just glad I'm out. That is indeed the case. The Spurs have the night off tonight. Memphis is coming to town. I posed this question to you, and I'm not, and I stole it, but great minds do research. I believe that the Spurs are close to having the best defensive frontline tandem in the basketball. And I think Pounding the Rock has a great article there, and I wanted to talk about the potential for Wemby and Sohan to put together the kind of defense we haven't seen in quite some time.
We haven't mentioned Jeremy as a potential piece of the future. Obviously, Devin kind of is the only one who ever gets discussed. Trey Jones on a good day, but it feels like a lot of people have been mostly out on Jeremy. But you're right. I mean, there's a lot to like and to consider. You can't replace everybody at the end of the day. I mean, we expect them to make a lot of roster changes over the summer, but you simply can't just literally change out every dude but Wemby.
You said you were watching Survivor last night.
Yeah, you still haven't caught up.
No, I haven't. Is this one of those where all the former champions are back together? One of those ones, or
they've done that before, but this is not that. This is a normal people, new people trying to compete, trying to win, et cetera, et cetera.
And
well, it's still early on. They haven't even merged yet.
I don't even know what that means.
For somebody who might watch it,
what does merging mean?
When the game starts, they're in either 2 or 3 different tribes, and whoever loses a challenge has to vote somebody off. And so eventually the numbers dwindle to a point where they merge and they become one tribe. I know that you care a lot about that.
No, see, the thing is, I'm recording them.
Okay.
Because you mentioned a couple of weeks back that maybe we should have a mutual conversation piece, one of those things to bring to the table on a regular schedule. We call it an appointment. And I thought, well, I need to jump in on this.
Well, but you don't have time to watch anything right now because
see, the thing is, I'm in trouble, and most of us will be over the next couple of days because today, for me, and it's not for a lot, but for some of us, this is the best day in all of sports. I don't know. We get to redo it again tomorrow, same concept, but today, Thursday, the beginning of tournament day, is in my life over the last 40 years, I have had more great days on this day than even my birthday, I think. It's just the best day that starts early and goes late.
This year, like, think about that.
Well, and today you combine that with heavy equipment and sawdust. It doesn't get much better than where we are. Last night we had a double overtime game.
Thompson.
We had a double overtime game last night, and I've never heard a more quiet and intense game all combined into one.
Well, we're about to get intense basketball. I mean, the best part about the tournament is that a lot of games are going right down to the wire. It's one of the few things that always delivers drama, we're on the verge of having these incredible stories and incredible people who we don't even know yet, but that will emerge over the course of the next few weeks.
Other than birthday, marriage, wedding anniversary, whatever, Christmas, what is the easy ones, the ones that they make gift cards for.
Okay.
What's your favorite day? Is it opening day? Is it first day of the NFL? Is it the Thursday? Is it draft day? I mean, because it doesn't have to be the beginning. Like, this is, for me, it's the end. But
I would say
tournament day.
Occasionally in the fall, there will be a weekend with incredible matchups.
Right.
Like, you will have sometimes it's the Red River rivalry a weekend or something. Like, you'll have these fable
like
just
a 3-game stack where you're one game after
there will
another.
But you can't depend on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so you kind of have to wait for that to present itself. In both college football and the NFL. I would put Thursday at the Masters up there. That's always a lot of fun.
True.
Opening day is fun, but it's so much happening all at once.
And it's also spread out. Not everybody has the same opening day.
This is definitely up there. The energy and the vibe are pretty prosperous when it comes to tournament beginning.
Keep in mind I'm not going to assign it a pronoun, because that's not what we do here, but our other station, 1250, is your home for all the broadcasts. If we're live and you're wanting to catch up, it's okay if you wanted to pop over there. It's all right. We won't be upset with you.
We'll forgive you.
But that's the home for all the broadcasts during the day. Of course, we'll be carrying your Aggies mañana as they face off against those stupid Cornhuskers. Stupid.
Did you pick them?
The Cornhuskers?
No, did you pick the Aggies?
Yes, I picked the Aggies.
And then did you pick them to beat Houston?
No.
Okay.
I'm an Aggie, but I'm a realist. And there's not a lot of us, but the few of us that do exist, I took the best defensive combo guards in all of college basketball. All right, let's do this. This is going to be a strange day for baseball fans. We're going to get you all caught up on Shohei's news in just a couple minutes, but it is the best day in all of sports. It is tourney time. Any last-minute upsets, advice, and an opportunity for us to help you fill out your bracket over at sasportstar.com. Get in. The mayhem begins today, and we're going to do our best to have some fun with it. We're talking tourney next. Say it ain't Shohei coming up after that, and the gumbo is boiling, and Caleb looks like the okra for the best gumbo the Bears have ever had. We'll talk about it. Hang on. It's around the corner. You're on the Morning Huddle, and this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks, and you already know how San Antonio Sports Star does it. Today and tomorrow, join us for a full court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Here's your chance to call out of work and catch all the madness in the best seats in the house. That's today. We're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at De Zavala. And then tomorrow, we're doing it all again, 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks, the Live Oak location. Catch all the Basketball Madness live with us. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Head over to Hulu this March, where our new shows and movies will keep you streaming all month long. Catch the award-winning movie Poor Things, starring Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, and Willem Dafoe. Check out the new documentary, Freaknik, The Wildest Party Never Told, about the iconic Atlanta street party. And don't miss FX's Shogun, a reimagining of the epic tale, starring Anna Sawai. So, what are you waiting for? Go stream something new on Hulu.
When something happens to your car, you might say, but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Check out the 2024 Basketball Mayhem at sasportstar.com. Enter your best bracket for the chance to win an incredible $1 million prize at sasportstar.com.
Huddle up! It's a small Friday. Welcome to the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. Game 2 of the Major League Baseball series is happening right now. The Padres jumped out early and stayed on top. They're up 9-2 in the bottom of the third, but you can't blame the Dodgers. They got some weird news as the game was about to start that Shohei Ohtani's translator and longtime best friend and sidekick, Ippei Matsuhara, had placed bets with a California bookie and had coerced or convinced Ohtani to pay those debts via some sort of wire transfer in a state where that's not legal to do, to the amount of nearly $4.5 million. We're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. The ramifications are huge. In fact, this Matsuhara guy actually sat down with ESPN. I can't wait to see how Major League Baseball handles that. But first and foremost, the news of the day, it's here. Tourney time, day 3 or day 1, depending on how you look at it. You excited? You look it.
It's day 1. It's not day 3. Let's
it is. I mean, they count. Do you get like a banner thing if you get the first 4? Do you get to treat like, hey, I went to the tourney? It's a one and done. You got to fly.
I don't think that if people are able to not have their bracket be impacted by you losing, that your game counts.
I guess that's right.
Right. Like if you picked Boise State, and you pull up your bracket right now, it isn't impacted one way.
Unfortunately, Boise State has yet to win a game in this NCAA tournament. Now 0-11, I believe. Last night they played like it. Colorado State held on late to take. Colorado, held on late to take them down. Hence carrying into the weekend.
We went 3 of 4 on first 4.
Yeah,
picks.
we did. And the fourth
State
one,
failed.
Montana State, they had a 14-point lead in the middle of the second half and just collapsed. So, yeah. But I'm not. I don't feel too bad about that one. That evidently they did something to upset a higher power and collapse. And congratulations to Grambling. They too won their first conference game as they get Purdue as their congratulatory matchup. Looking at the tournament 2 weeks ago, man, I thought this was going to be. This is both good and bad. This is the tournament is actually set up to be perfect in its excitement because those that put this thing together, the ADs that were on the committee, put together a very top-heavy 64-team bracket where the number ones have a pretty easy skate for the most part, top 3 seeds, but they had just enough of those upsets to match up with, just a few of them when you're looking at the likes of McNeese or Samford when they're dealing with Kansas and their injuries. There's a couple other, James Madison, who's actually won a game at Michigan State, who has high-level D1 tournament guys on their roster. They've got those matchups there. We get the early upsets, but for those that want to see a Final Four with the Blue Bloods, with the battleships rolling in, that looks like that's going to happen too. And
it's always good when you can get a top-heavy Final Four.
It is.
I mean, no disrespect to the Loyola Chicagos of the world, but there is something to. It's a different kind of tax as a sports fan when you get to that point. You're like, who is this? Where are they? I have to. What colors are they? What's their mascot? What is Loyola Chicago's mascot? Now that I say that,
they are the. I can tell you their colors. I have no idea. Sister Jean. That's all I know. They are the Sister Jeans.
Everybody knows that. But so.
What's your now? I know we all went to the Final Four in 2018, which, by the way, we are on the clock officially. They are the Wolves, by the way, the Loyola University Wolves. And my best friend, Geraldo Rodriguez, a proud Loyola graduate, is probably upset with me right now. I didn't know that.
You were saying about 2018.
We certainly a great. We were treated to a phenomenal tournament game. But your memories of Final Fours, is there one that sticks out or just the one that you were standing on the court as the one shining moment and the things fell on your face?
I remember that one just because I remember Dante DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson going off. I also will always remember the Mario Chalmers shot.
Yes.
Granted, that was also in San Antonio. Duke UNC a couple years ago was great. So, but it's hard to kind of overlook the final moments. I mean, is there a team who hasn't won a title in recent history that you kind of want to see win one?
I'm glad you went that direction. Yes, there is, because Purdue has been carrying some baggage over the last couple of years. They've collapsed. Their guard play hasn't lived up to it. Zach Edey has, hung around now. He's, breaking records at Purdue. I would like to see Purdue be successful. I don't know if I want to see them win it all, but I think if Zach Edey can carry that team to the Final Four, I think that's a worthy thing for them. And I'd love to see the matchup between Purdue and UConn in the championship game with those two bigs, Edey and Klingon, going at it. I think that would be something great. So I'd like to see them put the bags down and carry forward. Tom Izzo and Michigan State, they've had such a rough run of it. I'd like to see a little bit of success for them just because you can see the end of Izzo's coaching tenure kind of winding down, and you don't want it to end the way that it has over the last couple of years. So I'd like to see them get a little success. You always want to watch the Blue Bloods and how they're surviving past the coaches. Now Duke with Shire and North Carolina with Hubie. It looks like they got a number 1 seed. So you wonder how those Blue Bloods are going to carry through. And then, the age of the mid-major is at its best. I think we're going to see a couple of mid-majors move on along. The Florida Atlantic story is going to really have some legs. Keep in mind, all these guys that made the run last year decided to come back, got a little NIL money. hung around, dealt with some injuries, but this could be one of those one final run things with some guys that know how to do it. That might be the story of the tournament. I do like them early on. So, what do I want to see? I want to see early guys kind of new teams to kind of make the run. I want to see which of these conferences are shams. I'm going to put it at the Big Ten will be the one that lets us down. And let's go get it, man. I got UConn winning it all, by the way. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag.
I'm with you. I would like to see Purdue get it done. This isn't happening now, but I would love to see Michigan get it done. And it's not happening for a while, clearly, after the Juwan Howard stuff, but it just comes so close. I would just love to see them finally get that done.
Yeah, Michigan's got a little bit of a road to take. They're in IT, right? Did they even choose to do that, or they're not even doing that?
I don't think so. Ohio State's there. So is Villanova. God, what a weird year in college basketball.
It is. There is a little salt to this. We are going to talk about John Calipari. In this age of everybody should be able to play for a championship, Calipari has some thoughts on the ideas of expanding the college basketball tournament. We're going to get into that as soon as we come back to college hoops. But here's the story of the day. It is Shohei Ohtani and those Dodgers. Not that they're playing in Seoul, Korea, or getting beaten. Not that there's massive equipment failure going on, but there is evidently some improprietary business. There is some gambling happening that Ohtani was a part of. We're going to tell you about the latest on the Shohei Ohtani scandal. We're going to call it that already. Coming up, the bad news coming out of Seoul. We'll tell you what it is. And to look at the gumbo that is the NFL. Caleb throws, and the Cowboys are Bears. That'll all make sense if you stay with us. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, the weekend is here. You better go head over to Tri-County Meat Market right now today and get your stuff ready for a weekend of phenomenal hoops action. And I recommend on weekends like this, you don't want to spend a lot of time standing over that fire. You want your smoker to go to work. So go this weekend today. Grab yourself a big old brisket, throw it on this afternoon. It'll be ready for you tomorrow as you open up the grill. So will the tips going. And if it's for today, go over and get in the prepared food side. Get yourself some poppers. I would get the fajitas would be a great on and off, real quick, ready-made, spiced and ready to go. Use that today. That's what Tri-County's there for. They're there to make your life easier and your life better because they tell you, I believe it, a great meal always starts with great meat from Tri-County Meat Market. So celebrate with the gifts this weekend that they've got for you. Go with the 5 for $25. Fill your bags up. 5 items, $25. You cannot beat it. Go get some of their house-made hot dogs. What a great quick meal during the second game of the day. You can throw it on and have it in no time, and there is no better dog going. Tri-County Meat Market specials in play. 2 locations, Heebner and Fair Oaks. So listen, if you haven't been to Tri-County, what are you waiting on? It's like a toy store. If you love great meals, if you love great food, Tri-County will take care of you. They've been my meat market for years. Go for the first time, and I promise you'll go back. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over there, put some good meat on the grill, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Jareen Williams from Pro Foot Talk. Some people losing their mind that the Cowboys aren't doing anything. Have the Cowboys lost anybody that they really wanted to keep?
Even if they haven't, who are you replacing them with? Like, who's left to sign in free agency? Are you going to draft 40 guys to come in and be your depth players? Like, you don't have that many draft picks. So you start looking at all the holes. And I said last week, it's not time to panic yet. It's getting close. Just from the standpoint of, I don't know who's your starting left tackle. I don't know who's your starting center. I don't know who's your starting running back. You're running out of time to sign even second, third tier free agents on 1-year deals. So it's getting close to that time to panic. It almost feels like a soft tank.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers and earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
Ball forward, take your base. The only thing worse than a pitcher running out of gas on the mound is your old phone running out of storage for your photos in the stands. Goodbye, home run. Switch to Verizon and get a great deal on a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage for all the ballpark pics you want. Just trade in your iPhone, any model, in any condition, so you'll feel like you're winning, even when your team's not. Trade in any iPhone in any condition for a great deal on iPhone 15 Pro with unlimited Ultimate and get iPad and Apple Watch SE with eligible service plan. Only on Verizon.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers and earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
The Omaha Steaks semi-annual sale is here. Get 50% off site-wide and save on mouth-watering favorites today. Go to omahasteaks.com and shop the semi-annual sale where you can load up on all the delicious flavor you crave at half the price. And when you use promo code SIZZLE at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. Save big on delicious, tender, juicy steaks, big, beefy burgers, and so much more. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code SIZZLE at checkout. Minimum purchase may apply.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Save big during MVP's bonus days at Lowe's with limited time deals on everything you need. Right now, buy one select DeWalt 20-volt max tool, get one DeWalt 20-volt max power stack battery 2-pack free, a $179 value. Plus, save $20 on the select bucket of Deck Plus wood screws. Find these deals and more in-store and online today. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 3/18 through 3/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
The La Tap Texas cycling races are back in San Antonio, April 12th to the 14th. Cyclists of all ages. Register now to ride in the 125-mile Tour de France amateur cycling events. You can run, walk, cycle, and celebrate all things fitness fiesta at the Athletes Village and Expo. La Tap Texas. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Presented in part by Thomas J. Henry.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh, you mean like when I let someone with less groceries go ahead in line? Sure, there's a part of me that thinks, if you only need 3 things, maybe go to a convenience store next time. And now they're sifting through coupons and my frozen foods are about to be not frozen.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
Wow, I'm a morning person.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I should not use a chatbot to write my wedding vows.
This is your official invite to Mattress Firm's Friends and Family Sale. Save up to $700 with the Friends and Family discount. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. See a lower price? We'll match it. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store website for details.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Yes, say that. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle.
TMH.
What's that?
TMH.
Too much.
The Morning Huddle.
Oh, there we go. I'm sorry, I'm a little slow on the uptake today.
It's early. You're forgiven.
Yeah, it kind of is. I don't know how to parse where we are with this.
Okay, let's try.
I want to talk Cowboys, but there's nothing going on. I just heard a break. Did you hear Shireen panic yesterday on the Blitz?
I think it was 2 days ago.
Was that, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, so there's a really popular terminology being thrown out about the Cowboys. Like, there's a phrase that gets thrown out, everybody kind of latches onto it. People are saying the Cowboys are doing a soft tank.
And
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I've been kind of, that's the term that I've been kind of circling around for several weeks now. I mean, I'm doing what they say, and I'm not listening. I'm listening to what they do, not what they say. And they're tanking, but I didn't know the term. And I think Shireen put it perfectly, and evidently she didn't come up with it. But soft tank is a better term than stupid tank.
I don't agree, and that's where I differ. Because to soft tank or to tank in any way, and I've said this before, requires that at some point in time, multiple people sat down and said, okay, Rob, here are our cards. Let's look at them.
Right. And if we're going to, and do everything financially appropriate at the same time,
it requires some sort of plan. And I don't believe that they have one. I don't believe that they are fixed with eyes on the future. Because if they were soft tanking, they would be doing things that would indicate that. All they're doing is not signing people. I mean, so again, I hate to, say it this way. I think they're just this bad. I think that they are just this bad at this part of NFL roster construction. And I think that they are this arrogant, that they really think that they can draft so well and replace all their holes. I really believe that that's the most likely thing happening here.
The soft tank, stupid tank, whatever the case may be. But if you've panicked people like Shireen, not panic's a bad word, an unfortunate word.
If you've put yourself in a situation where Shireen believes that's possible.
Oh my gosh, everything that we think is true is. Like, you guys literally have no idea. And now it's very apparent, not by your inactivity, but when you're telling me we can draft our way out of this. And I look around, you're like, you don't have enough draft picks, and you don't even have enough money to augment the lack of draft picks. So there's going to have to be some kind of miracle between now and then for anything to happen, and for Shireen to go there. That's and then for them to double down. Yesterday, I want to thank everyone for finding this. They see the market is overvalued. That is, they're bearish on this. They the first 2 days you pay good players great, or was it great players astronomical money, good players great money, average players
great,
whatever that might be. Well, they saw the whole thing as overvalued.
That's not new,
which is fine, but you have to spend some money.
That's the issue. Again, nobody is saying that they're mad that the Cowboys didn't go get Christian Wilkins or spend, give somebody $100 million guaranteed. That's not what we want. But the idea that you can draft yourself out of this is so unbelievably narcissistic. I mean, you're coming off of a year where you whiffed on almost every single draft pick. And now you're not only believing that you can hit on every single draft pick, but you've put yourself in a position where you're going to have to rely on those draft picks that you missed on last year. And even, much is made about the 2023 class and how bad it was. The 2022 class wasn't amazing. We act like 23 was this outlier. I talk all the time about your top 3 picks, your top 100 picks are the most important. Their first 3 picks in 2022, Tyler Smith, well done, respect. You crushed that one. And everybody made fun of you, and you pulled it off, so kudos. We were wrong. We were stupid. We were dumb. You were right. You were beautiful. You were charming. But beyond that, Sam Williams in the second round, can't trust him right.
Yeah, I
You
can't trust him
right now.
but I will say the jury's still out on Sam.
The jury is still out, but he's in his third season.
I agree.
And you're in a position where you're going to have to count on him. So
but from the neck down, it's been great. It's the neck up stuff. It's the stupid stuff. If he hadn't done stupid stuff, I think we'd be happy. But you're right.
But if you can't rely on the third-year second-round pick, then you can't claim to draft well.
Truth.
And beyond that, their third-round pick that year was Jalen Tolbert. You certainly can't count on Jalen Tolbert at the wide receiver position.
He's still on the team. Still here.
I know he is, but you're telling, not you, but like they're telling us like, oh, we draft really well. Dude, just again, everyone agrees your whole class last year stunk. But before that, you're not exactly dealing with a lot of great, even if you want to go 1 year further back in 21, they drafted Micah Parsons in the first round. Respect. All right. Like home run in the second round that year. Obviously, it didn't work out. They drafted Kelvin Joseph and they traded him last year. So he's not even on the team anymore to use your parlance there. They had 3 third-round picks that year in 2021. Nashawn Wright, who they can't depend on, obviously. Osa Odigizua, who's been pretty good. Obviously, I'm not going to deny that. And Chauncey Golston, who's just been average. So, again, that's a 3-year sample size, right? So that's a really, really long time. And you're telling us, don't worry, we've got this because we draft really well, when it's not that hard to look at just your last 3 years worth of significant draft picks and not exactly feel confident in what you're able to do.
Well, first of all, I don't think even you are saying that that's a failing grade. I think when you look across the league, what they've done is above average.
It's a failing grade contextually because you're telling us because you're telling us that you're going to be relying on these players to a significant degree. If you were supplementing them with other free agent signings to allow them time to develop, then okay, it's not a failing grade in any way, shape, or form because you can, use them in different capacities. But if you're in a position or you're purposefully putting yourself in a position where those players are who you're going to have to rely on, then it is a failing grade because they can't be relied upon. I mean, think about it. We're talking about there were in 21, in terms of top 100 picks, there were 5 players. In 22, there were 3. And last year, there were 3. So that's a total of 11 players. And you've got Micah and Tyler Smith, who you feel really good about. You have a couple. You have Osa, who you feel pretty solid about.
I do.
Sam Williams, you feel pretty solid about.
Overshot.
But even then, we're barely getting to half. You know what I mean? Half of your top 100 picks in the last 3 years are dudes who we feel like we can count on. So, but don't worry, you're definitely going to crush this. And even if you think they can crush the draft, Rob, they have completely telegraphed what they need in the draft.
Well,
so if you're
okay, you're right, but most teams do.
I don't think they do it as stoutly. I mean, because if I don't buy that last year so the Buffalo Bills traded up in the first round last year to draft Dalton Kincaid, the tight end out of Utah, and their claim was that they believed the Cowboys were going to be taking him if Buffalo hadn't jumped up, because the Cowboys had talked all throughout the pre-draft process about wanting a tight end in the first round. And I don't buy that personally, but obviously that possibility exists. But if you're a team who missed out on a running back in free agency, and we're in the middle of the second round and Dallas is coming up, you know that they are relying on the draft, obviously, to find their runner. So you know that you have to jump up ahead of them to beat them. And what if you do? Then Dallas is screwed.
I agree. I think to some extent everybody deals with that, but I'm not going to hold that against them. There's a lot of reasons to be mad at them. That's not one of them for me. But the idea that they can augment, and you're telling me that you can, when we looking at your bank account, you can't. I don't know what, it's like me talking to my kid. Like, I know you think you can. I know you have the best intentions, but I'm looking at it. You can't. So we're going to have to come up with another answer.
If you want to build the meat of your team through the draft, nobody is disagreeing with that premise. But to completely ignore free agency as if it can't provide any sort of help is incredibly arrogant.
Hey, let's get you caught up. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I was going to say that I think you're handsome and charming. That's all.
I am a handsome devil. And if you want to prove it to yourself and many others, go to our YouTube feed, because we take much time to prepare ourselves appropriately. RJ's got like 7 shades of ultra bass on his face. You should see it. It's beautiful. Coming back, Ohtani is in some hot water. We're going to talk about the situation. The Dodgers find themselves in Seoul, South Korea, and it ain't good. Hold on tight. Shohei news coming. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Ensira Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-737-9944. That's 1-800-737-9944. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-737-9944. That's 1-800-737-9944.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
At BetUS.com, why do we care about a college basketball tournament every March, where bets mean everything? Because it's March Mania, where glory triumphs and anything can happen, where underdogs can make or break our hearts. Because it's March Mania, where brackets are broken and buzzers are beaten. And there's always been a sportsbook there for you and your best buds. Because it's March Mania. BetUS has been with you through 30 Marches together. And like any good six-man, we've always had your back. And because it's March, BetUS.com is matching the Mania with a mad offer. Back to back 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And the extra confidence that comes from a 10% gambler's insurance. Because anything can happen during March Mania. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins. Get started today.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, and move again, pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-372-2017. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Check out the 2024 Basketball Mayhem at sasportstar.com. Enter your best bracket for the chance to win an incredible $1 million prize at sasportstar.com.
Hey, get in the huddle. This is the morning huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob. RJ is the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, and we are going to take advantage of that lengthy and in-depth knowledge in the 7 o'clock hour. Looking at the Cowboys, no signings imminent. They are Bears. The Cowboys are Bears. That's small b. We're going to look at that in a second. But if you're just awakened and haven't followed the news over the last 12 to 14 hours, it appears that Shohei Ohtani's longtime friend and current interpreter has stolen, or has at least been accused of stealing, at least $4.5 million from the Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher in a repayment of gambling debts. It was wire transfers that Ohtani himself did in fact initiate that brought the scrutiny. Now, that's the story, though there was an ESPN story behind that was scrapped that kind of lends some vagary to the entire thing going on. What we do know, according to ESPN's Tisha Thompson, is Mitsuhara, this guy who is the interpreter for Ohtani, Ippei Mitsuhara, in a lengthy interview with Tisha Thompson, explained that he'd accumulated a hefty gambling debt. He had made Ohtani wire transfer to pay things off while he didn't quite know what was going on. This is in a state where sports gambling is not legal. It is a mess that is unfolding and will continue keeping it up. Coming around the bend, we're talking Spurs. They have the night off in prep for the Memphis Grizzlies. Look at the team as they get ready to wind down this homestand. That 65-game minimum is rapidly approaching Victor. Does he see a light at the end of the tunnel? Is his season nearly done? We're talking about that and all things silver and black on Attorney Day. It's Celebration Day as the NCAA tournament has begun. We'll get you ready for the early upsets around the bend. He's RJ. I'm Rob. And we are mad about the tourney. Hold on. We'll be right back here on 94.1, The Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the NBA playoffs.
Down the middle of the lane, takes it right to the rim and flushes.
KTFM Floresville.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery for the kids or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most. If you've been injured, get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I still get PMS. You know what I mean? So
Why
I
don't you
don't
get a
know.
hysterectomy? California,
Actually,
they
I've had
pay
a
for
partial
everything.
hysterectomy, smart ass.
Why didn't you get a
But
full?
I don't know. I don't know why they didn't just gut me.
When they gut you, like a fish, do you age out quicker? Does that estrogen keep you a little younger?
Do you flop around on the dock?
The John Clay Wolf Show. Every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh, you mean like when I let someone with less groceries go ahead in line? Sure, there's a part of me that thinks, if you only need 3 things, maybe go to a convenience store next time. And now they're sifting through coupons and my frozen foods are about to be not frozen.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
Wow, I'm a morning person.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I should not use a chatbot to write my wedding vows.
This is your official invite to Mattress Firm's Friends and Family Sale. Save up to $700 with the Friends and Family discount. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. See a lower price? We'll match it. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store website for details.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The madness is here. The NCAA men's basketball earnest today. 7th-seeded Texas Longhorns take on Colorado State at 5:50, and 6th-seeded Texas Tech takes on the 11th-seed North Carolina State at 8:40. Dallas Cowboy former wide receiver Michael Gallup has a visit scheduled for the Baltimore Ravens, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembenyama three. Good! Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembenyama. Drive. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembenyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather round. It is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, do your duties. Make sure you're subscribed and watching us live on our YouTube feed. We're chasing subscribers like Padres are chasing fresh glove webbing. We are after it, baby. Go ahead and make sure you are subscribed. Did you see that yesterday?
Yeah, that was wild.
I always blame my glove on stuff like that, and I was always way in the outfield. Nobody could actually tell that the webbing wasn't broke. This time it was.
Wild thing is he was charged with an error.
I know.
You know, like what are you supposed to do?
That's kind of an arcane golf rule. Like, yeah. Oh no, yeah, that's a stroke. What?
Yeah.
That was quite funny. We're following the Ohtani news. If you're just joining us, it appears his translator was $4.5 million in debt to a bookie in California. Paid him with Shohei Ohtani's. Actually, Ohtani paid him. It appears. Weird story going on. Gambling, the biggest star in baseball, and they're all in Korea. We'll keep you track of all we're doing right now. Will Jack Thompson be at the Broadway or at the broadcast today on Days of Allah? I do think he will, actually. Thanks for asking, Vince.
Jack's got a pretty busy life based on his Instagram. So
he stays active. And he is, in fact, my main line into the basketball world. I do trust his knowledge.
A quick shout out for Jack. I know that this didn't necessarily age well in an off the court way, but when we went and did a Twin Peaks broadcast, I don't know, 5 years ago, something like that. He was like, this dude, John Morant. He was like, you've got to see him. And I was like, okay, I was, kind of half taking him seriously. Sure enough. So kudos to Jack.
I'm eager to talk to him. It's been a couple of days since we've caught up, at least since the brackets have come out. I don't know who he has picked, but you can trust in the fact that if Jack Thompson picks him, they've got a pretty good chance. Top heavy brackets for sure. It is the biggest day, but it's still Spurs Day. We still talk Spurs every day at 7:00. We call it the Silver and Black. We thank those that are subscribed, and here we sit. A nice day off. They get the Memphis Grizzlies coming up. They're rounding out what has been the longest homestand in the NBA this season. They get that because of the long February rodeo road trip. But
every game played at home.
Right.
Every single one.
The expectation was a little bit more, but, in hindsight, and I think Coach Popovich made a great point of talking about his team, because while the victories haven't been there, we do need to be cognizant that there has been improvements. They're not getting blown out anymore. There's been several games in a row where they have fought to the finish. They didn't win, which in the grand process of things, that just adds to the potential of ping pong balls in the big hopper. So it's hard to be mad at them, because no matter what they do from here on out, it's all about draft picks and strategizing how they're going to improve the team. So they have gotten better. And while the turnovers will continue to be a problem until these kids get older and they get a little bit more of I'm not going to get on Trey, but a little bit more, some more guidance, some little senior leadership for a better term. They're going to continue that. But defensively, all this talk about Wemby and his, whether he deserves Defensive Player of the Year, and he does. The defense on its own is getting better. And there's something about the style of Pop's defense, and I've been watching this defense for 20 years. I don't understand it. 25 years. I don't understand Pop's defense. And I don't pretend to be an NBA expert to get the rotational methods behind the Spurs. It's master's level stuff. I don't understand it, and I don't pretend to. But it takes a year to learn. It took LaMarcus a year. Everybody who gets here says where I'm supposed to be. And I think we're starting to see it.
I think not that it's easy to understand Pop's offensive philosophy, but it's easier to see. Right? Like it's easier to kind of absorb.
Right, and it's established by the talent you've got. You get the floppy. You get the choices that they're running now. That 5-0 and 5-4 down, that's a long time ago. And he's adopted it, but you get it. Defense, I don't understand it.
I think that it's also been difficult to get a proper gauge on, because they've always had a baller, right? Like they've always had somebody who can. They've had Bruce or Kawhi, obviously now Wemby. They've always kind of had somebody who can just eliminate
a lockdown,
right?
dude.
Exactly. And so it's hard to kind of evaluate who they are from a team defensive standpoint, because they've never. And I say this not in a criticizing sort of way, but they've never had to be that kind of team. They've always been able to say like, "Hey, go neutralize this dude." By the way, just very quickly, did you see on the subject of defense? Did you in Kawhi? Did you see James Harden? The clip of him last night?
No.
He dished it to Kawhi, and then ran up and contested his shot. like it was very strange. What happened? He dished it to Kawhi down near the baseline, and then Kawhi put up a three, but James Harden tried to block it. It was really, really weird.
Why did we get a reason?
I haven't seen an explanation for this, but it was a weird thing that had Twitter. I'll send it to you.
I'm watching it right now. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what was that? So,
and it works.
Yeah,
he got an altered shot stat.
He was the one who made the pass. Like, that's what's really weird about it. Anyway, so it's nice to see the waters calming a little bit, or the water stabilizing. Feels like our nausea on the boat is subsiding, and we're able to kind of enjoy things a little bit now. But it's obviously all led by Wemby. I mean, Jeremy's playing some solid defense, and that's great to see. But this is, from a defensive standpoint, it's going to be the Wemby show from here on out. I mean, I don't know that it really matters how much team defense they're able to play, just because he's such an intimidating force on his own.
When we look at the near future, I just don't see a lot of Wemby in April.
You mean like
I think we're winding this sucker down. And while I don't think they're just going to say he's played his 65 and he's done, I think we're going to find out that he's got a nagging injury.
Well, yeah,
something that's been bothering him for weeks, that they're just going to let him get healed.
If you're a real conspiracy theorist, maybe they told him right before Luka hooked him the other night, like, okay, lay the foundation, start favoring that ankle a little bit. So he's at 61 games,
right?
So he's got to reach 65. There are 3 left in this quote unquote homestand. Then they're at Utah. After that have 5 remaining home games. How many? What number do you think he hits? I think he hits like.
I think 70 is a good number, and I think if the Spurs are smart, he'll play at home. I don't think we'll see him again on any kind of back-to-back, so you can just go ahead and X those out. And I think if it's a road 2 and 3, I don't think even that second of the road I would put him up there.
So they have 2 road trips left with consecutive games. You talked about April. On April the 2nd, they're at Denver, and then they have a little bit of a break, and they don't play again until April the 5th in New Orleans. So to your point, maybe he doesn't play against the Pelicans, comes back. There's that home game against the Sixers, and that might be when he goes on ice.
I just feel like I treat him like he's my number 2 starter in baseball. You get 4 days.
You've come this far. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't. You're halfway into the code red. You're more than halfway. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to finish what we started here in terms of getting through this season with his experience and getting to next season with him fully healthy. I mean, you already have to, I wouldn't say risk, because it's not something the team is doing, but you have to, tolerate him playing in the Olympics, and that's, a whole different thing in and of itself. So you don't need to put any more wear and tear on him that is absolutely necessary. He's locked up Rookie of the Year. As much as we want him to win Defensive Player of the Year, I don't think anything can realistically happen over the next, the remainder of the regular season that would help him out. Do you know what the odds are on Defensive Player of the Year?
I would say they're climbing by the day.
So
4-1.
DraftKings has Rudy Gobert at -600.
-600.
Wemby is at +400.
Oh, so he's a long way away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating, but it's best to make your peace with it. They don't even have, as I'm looking here, by the way, they don't even have Rookie of the Year as an available bet anymore. Like, it's that foregone of a conclusion.
As we head into the tournament, and we know some of the things that the Spurs definitely need as they head into next season. Now, 'tis the season to watch, guys. I think if you're a Spurs fan looking for immediate help, you better be paying attention to Kentucky. There's 2 guys on that team, Reed Shepherd and Rob Dillingham. I was a Dillingham guy. I'm kind of out on him now. I'm also out on another guy that had been mentioned a couple of times. I saw him play last night in Colorado. Jalen Williams, a little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Williams. Cody.
You're out.
Well, I'm not out. But he is so far away from being NBA ready. I mean, he's 4 years away. He's got a lot of talent, but what the Spurs are chasing, and the time and the clock, if Wemby wasn't quite as good as he is, I think he might have been a legitimate choice, a legitimate first-round draft pick, a top 10 kind of guy for them. But he's far from prepared to be an NBA guy. So I'm out on him. I think that he is a definite good guy to get, but he's a 3-year, small minutes, a lot of time in the G League kind of draft pick. No, I'm out on him. To me, as I sit today, and if I was Brian Wright, I'd be watching Reed Shepherd closely. He and Connect from Tennessee, because that's the thing that I think the Spurs can fix the quickest through the draft. What they need that they can fix quicker than anything else is shooting. You can find jump shots. You can find a dude that can hit a jumper in a draft. You can't find on a regular basis point guards that are ready to lead. You can on a regular basis find power forwards that are ready to defend. But you can find jump shooters. You can get them, and they can pay you immediate dividends. So I like the Reed Shepherd look. I would be following him pretty closely. The schedule for today will lend itself to watching those guys. Let me pull up today's schedule. We have early on Michigan, Mississippi State.
The first game is going to be great.
Yeah.
See, I'm coming around on your take that this is the best day of the year, because it is. They stagger everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's so great to just kind of over and over and over. Like, it just never ends. And that's the best part of it all. But if you're abandoning Dillingham,
I'm not. I just think that he is more of a scoring type, and I would be perfectly happy to draft him. But if I could have the perfect guy for the Spurs right now, as it sits before, camps and the all of the different pre-draft workouts, Reed Shepherd to me looks like a guy that fits a lot of the categories that the Spurs are chasing. He can play a couple of positions, but he is a guy who will bring an immediate court stretching three. And a fair amount of savvy at that coming out of Kentucky. Kentucky goes off today. They're playing Oakland, but Oakland's from Pittsburgh, not that Oakland, but the other Oakland, the Golden Bears, I believe they are. And that'll be a CBS game, tipping at 6:10, a game you can watch. You can listen live here. On our brother, we're not signing pronouns. KZDC 1250 will have all the tournament stuff as we are live, but we will be live out at Twin Peaks. You can watch it live with us. Texas tips today as well. Nobody on the Texas roster is on the Spurs thing, but you might want to pay attention to that as they tip at 5:50. That's a TNT game, a game going off in Charlotte, North Carolina. I did not pick Texas. I'll be free there. I took Colorado State as a 10.
I did too. But quickly on the Dillingham note, the only reason I'm opposed to him is I'm so all in on Trae Young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything to happen that would compromise that. So no offense to Dillingham, and I think he'll be an awesome NBA player, but all my eggs are in on. I don't want the Spurs to fall into a situation where they think like they can draft and build and whatever, and they don't have to go get the All-Star to pair with Wemby. No, you have to go get the All-Star now. So I don't want anything to preclude them from pursuing the Trae Young type, whoever that ultimately winds up being.
And I completely agree with that. That is the first and foremost immediate fix for this Spurs team, is to go get a superstar who can just go win games on his own. And with that in mind, I see a lot of the end of season talk about Trey Jones and maybe chasing Tyus, his brother, up there with the Bullets. No need to do that. I think Trey Jones, I've gotten a bad reputation for not liking him. Over the last couple of games, he
what
too.
What do you mean a bad reputation?
I do like him. I was mad at him on one of his better games because there's other things that need to be done. It wasn't about winning; it was about improvement. And
you were mad that he didn't make Wemby better.
Yes,
that was
that
was a ridiculous thing to be mad about.
No, it's going to continue to be my issue with him.
Day.
I'm gonna continue to hammer because his job is solely to set the table, solely to get other guys going. That's his job. There's a reason why he's here, and he's getting better at that.
It's sad that you can't own up to the fact that you were a Trae hater. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like we all have things we want back.
This coming into the offseason, the storyline across the NFL was the devalued running backs. Well, running backs turned out to have a bit more value, though not high value stuff. I don't know how the Dallas Cowboys, specifically Stephen Jones, can look at this free agent market and see it as overvalued, but they do by evidence, by their actions. Is the market overvalued? Did they completely whiff on this? How bad is it really in Dallas Cowboy land? We'll talk about a sighting of the head coach. He was seen at a pro day, and Caleb threw some darts. We're talking NFL next. And right after that, more news on Shohei Ohtani. His interpreter has been fired and may be facing federal charges for theft of up to $4.5 million. The story, it's a little shaky, and there's several versions of it. Ohtani and the Dodgers in trouble with gambling on the background. We'll be following that up just after Cowboy Talk, and it's tourney time. What a great day. You know what would make the day better? Maybe winning some Breaking Benjamin and Stained tickets, because I got those too. We'll be giving those away in about 40 minutes just after 8 o'clock. Hang around. The Morning Huddle continues as we look at the NFL world and the bearish Cowboys. That's next on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. This U.S. promotional offer not available in D.C., Mississippi, North Carolina, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. For West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
In Bell County, 1 in 3 people have low access to healthy food since they live 1 mile or more from a grocery store. The City of San Antonio Healthy Corner Stores are helping to change that. With more than 45 member Healthy Corner Store locations, fresh fruits and vegetables are now within reach at your neighborhood store. And all Healthy Corner Stores accept SNAP benefits. For more information, visit sanantonio.gov/Healthy Corner Stores. Remember, visit sanantonio.gov/Healthy Corner Stores.
Are you hiding your teeth when you laugh or smile? Do you lack confidence due to the poor condition of your teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
I hated walking around with bad breath. I didn't smile. I didn't show my teeth at all.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full-mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney, an attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Good morning, everybody. Coming up on the Blitz, the tournament is here, and we're going to be live at Twin Peaks, the Days of Allah location, to watch it all. Cowboys, will they do something? Well, I doubt it, but if they do, we'll talk about that as well. Rob, RJ, what do you guys got? I got Long Beach State. What do you think?
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I'm a fan of Dan Munson. Keep in mind, that dude at Long Beach State is coaching a team after he got fired. You think you hate your job? Hey, you're fired. Oh, by the way, I wonder if he can earn a new contract.
We will see. That's the magic of March.
Yes, indeed, we will. We got a lot of Shohei Ohtani news we're going to catch you up on in just a minute, as it appears he's in some trouble with the feds. Gambling money, $4.5 million, paid from his account by his interpreter. The feds, the fuzz, the heat is coming down. This is a crazy story coming out of Seoul. It appears that his interpreter fell into a gambling debt to a bookie of some sort. And coerced, talked to, tricked, according to the story, Ohtani into paying those debts directly from his account. He has been fired by the Dodgers. There's an interview that's floating around out there with ESPN that he offered, giving him this cover story. It just sounds kind of sketch, if you're asking me, on my first glance. And you know, I'm always looking for conspiracy. Sounds like he's fallen on his sword. We'll discuss in just a minute, but that's just supposition. I have no idea. We'll get all the facts together in just a minute. But first, let's talk some Cal of what they're calling a bearish, overvalued free agent market. And you can tell by their actions that's true, but maybe it's overvalued because they don't have any money because they didn't financially prepare for such situation where they could have actually had some money and taken advantage of what was, at the end of the day, a pretty fair valued running back market. And other players that could have been had, not stars, they could have paid for them, and they didn't because they're using the excuse that it's all too expensive.
I think that the idea that people like you share, no offense, that the running
Did you
back
just
market,
say you people?
Yeah,
Okay.
that the idea that the running back market is back or whatever, that idea, ironically, is a little bit inflated. You know, there
I think
was
it's
a
fair value.
surplus. Well, there was a surplus of cash that was made available,
Mm-hmm.
especially as the salary cap was finalized. And it seems like the running back market is back because the numbers are larger, but it's
a
the same
proportion to the pie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, consider that Saquon Barkley, who got paid, so to speak, by the Philadelphia Eagles, is making less money than Gabe Davis for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know what I'm saying? Like is the running back market back if Gabe Davis is a hotter commodity than Saquon Barkley? No. And so it's you've got to pay. You've got to pay market rate at whatever the position is. Whether it's running back or quarterback, and that is something the Cowboys have not understood. For family and an ownership group that makes money left and right by just breathing and existing, they do not understand this. I know the reason: for arrogance, for incompetence, for narcissism. They believe that players should take less to play with. And because of the opportunities that are afforded to them as being members of the Cowboys, or however you want to put it. And you cannot find the time in recent history that they evaluated the market and said, you know what? We're going to get ahead of this.
Time to buy. Yes.
And we're going to pay now, and we'll reap the benefits of that down the road. They always prolong, they always delay, and they always wind up overpaying their own when they make it seem like that's their priority because they misevaluated the market.
This is Mother Football, Shereen Williams on the Blitz day before yesterday. And, she's got this 1,000-yard stare, this umbrella view of the NFL. I always look at her as the steady, I've been here, I've seen it, I've done all of this before. This is what I've seen before. This is what I expect. Listen to her. It might be time to panic.
Okay, let's just say, though, that they didn't want to keep any of these guys, all right? Who are you replacing them with? Like, who's left to sign in free agency? Are you going to draft 40 guys to come in and be your depth players? Like, you don't have that many draft picks. Is it undrafted free agents you're counting on? Like, I don't understand. I do understand them not going out on the free agent market because this is what they've done. We talked about this. It's 2013, 2012. They spent all that money on Brandon Carr and all these other guys. This is their MO, but they've never let guys walk away like this. So you start looking at all the holes. And I said last week, it's not time to panic yet. It's getting close. Just from the standpoint of, I don't know who's your starting left tackle. I don't know who's your starting center. I don't know who's your starting running back. I don't know who's your third receiver. There's just all these important holes on the roster that you're running out of time to sign even second and third tier free agents on 1-year deals, which is what we're now seeing. We're into that 1-year deal phase to help you. So it's getting close to that time to panic. It almost feels like a soft tank. We don't have the money to spend on anybody. We haven't redone Dak's contract. So at this point, let's just let him play out this year on the contract. Let's play with the guys that we have. You know what? If we get a higher draft pick, then that's okay. We'll just start a rebuild. That's almost what it feels like. I don't think that's probably what they're doing, but that's certainly what it looks like on the outside. Again, I would like to think that they have a plan, and I don't know what that plan is.
That's Shereen Williams, esteemed NFL writer, been covering the league for 30 years. And I want to give you credit, RJ. You were the first one in the echo chamber. This has been going on from you for weeks. Now, we finally heard from Shereen about this yesterday or day before yesterday, but you were really the first one to say, even before as the free agency period began, like what you're saying and what you're doing are two entirely different things. And while, there's still time to fix this, it is time to begin to start to press the panic button, because you do what you're telling me that you think you have the time and the money to do.
It isn't even about the all-in comment. Right. On a national
it's
level, that's right. Like that's all that kind of gets the headlines of it all. This is just, this is willful ignorance. This is willful incompetence. And to Shereen's point, again, no one is saying that you had to go spend an enormous amount of money, but free agency is about finding and identifying role players to come in and be your third wide receiver, players to come in and be that second level linebacker, players to come in and be that depth. It is so purposefully making this situation more difficult. It is willfully, placing extra blame or extra pressure on Will McClay and the scouting staff, on the rookies that they're going to draft. The rookies, think about it. Whoever is drafted by the Dallas Cowboys has this expectation of coming in and saving everything. Extra pressure on Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons and all three players who the Cowboys have yet to pay, by the way. So even if the plan goes completely and totally exactly the way that whatever plan it is, the way they envision it, it's still not enough. You're simply out of time to find enough bodies here. The floor of this roster is really kind of been lowered. The ceiling might be just as high if you are feeling optimistic, but the team that wins the Super Bowl, unless they have Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, is generally the team with the highest floor.
Mhm.
You have to put yourself in a position to survive the battle of attrition that is an NFL season, and they aren't there right now. You cannot assume that all 22 of your starters are going to be available every single week, and when they're not, you're going to be screwed because you let players like this walk.
And you spoke to the pressure that the draftees are going to face. We've talked a lot about the culture of the Cowboys, good, bad, whatever it might be. But the zoo atmosphere, that it's just the focal point of this magnifying glass to be a Cowboy. And I think that from what I've heard from Dak's brother and talking about the culture and all that, I think the Cowboys are kind of reticent to bring in dudes from other franchises that have spent time in other locker rooms. I think they'd rather have their guys think that this is normal. Like, this is what every team's like. Don't pay no attention to the wizard behind the curtain. Just go about your business. People are going to be watching you all the time. And, so bringing in guys from out of the building, they come in and go, what the hell is going on around here? Do y'all realize that nobody else has to put up with this?
There's a reason.
Do you think there's a sense about that?
There's a reason they like players from Power 5 conferences. They're not drafting it's ironic that they had this love affair with Boise State of all places,
Right.
kind of the most opposite in terms of, although I wouldn't say that actually, because they are rock stars, right? Like,
Right.
That's one of those weird college towns where like you do kind of walk above air, within the realm of Boise, but they like players from your Michigans, your Ohio States, your Alabamas, whatever, because you're kind of used to the spotlight and everything that comes with it. But again, there was no need to tie one hand behind your back on all this. And I would offer once again, if my opinion, if Shireen's opinion, whoever's isn't enough for you, every other team in the NFL disagrees with this disposition. All sorts of analysts disagree with this position. Millions and millions of fans who have access to all sorts of information and data disagree with this disposition. The only people who are writing for them are the most ardent Kool-Aid chugging supporters. And those people, Rob, are the same people who say that Dak sucks, you can't pay him, when something is the reason for all this winning, right? Like they love to hang their hat on, well, we win 12 games a year, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, if it's not because of free agency and it's not because your draft picks are really hitting, like maybe it's the quarterback. Maybe you would, value that guy to the point that you would, pay him commensurate with market value, not leave him hanging the way they have many times in the past.
The word for the day is, two words, soft tank. And, that encompasses so many things. And I love the imagery of soft. I think that applies. And I think the idea of tanking, well, you don't have enough dudes to play, you're probably tanking, but not going about it in an objectively appropriate way. That, we're just going to let the chips fall, and we might have to pay a little bit extra, but at the end of the day, the goal will be attained. We're going to suck.
Even if you think that soft tanking works, right? Like, oh, we just need the number 1 overall pick or whatever. There was a team this past year that everybody thought was tanking. Do you remember who it was?
I give some context.
A team that it felt like very obviously they were setting themselves up to draft Caleb Williams in the 2024 NFL draft.
Bears.
What's that?
Bears?
No, because that's not even the Bears pick. That's the Panthers.
The
pick.
Panthers. Well,
no, but the
I don't know.
Team. Sorry, that's a weird question.
Pittsburgh?
The team that I'm talking about is the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh.
Everybody thought, oh, the Cardinals, they're just tanking. They're going to whatever. They're going to move on, blah, blah, this and that, whatever. Even if you believe that they were soft tanking, the Cardinals, they have the 4th overall pick. And so in a draft where there might be 4 first-round quarterbacks.
So they could have been soft tanking and still had the fallback of a 4th pick.
But my point is, like, even if you go through a soft tank, which is not a fun thing to do, you still might not wind up with the number 1 overall pick. And next year's draft is not expected to be deep at quarterback. And so, like this is a bad year to even soft tank, and the annoying thing about it to me is kind of why I was annoyed with so many fans when we were at the Super Bowl, because the Cowboys were interviewing all these yahoos to be defensive coordinator. And all these people were defending the team and saying, well, they can't get anybody legitimate to interview because Mike McCarthy's on the final year of his contract. What do you expect? And my retort was always, they control that. They could totally extend him and, whatever, and change the narrative there. So a lot of people are sitting here saying, well, yeah, I mean, what are they supposed to do? Mike McCarthy's entering the final year of his deal and Dak Prescott's entering the final year of his deal. Like, it makes sense to just kind of ride this out. They control that. They could have fired Mike McCarthy. They could have tried to move on from Dak Prescott. Maybe they have behind closed doors, but like the idea that they're stuck because of the situation they painted for themselves is ridiculous to me. They don't deserve credit or some sort of pity for being in a situation where Mike McCarthy's on the final year of his contract. They could have fired him if they really wanted to at the end of the season and began the rebuild now. So you're just treading water. You're just wasting time, in my mind, if you think that some sort of soft tank is the way to go.
There's a great article on Blogging the Boys right now. One of the guys that's going to be a key part of the conversation as the summer begins, and that's the story on Brock Hoffman. Now, while we don't know who this guy is, he is rapidly becoming a key part of the offseason. He really is. He's becoming front and center to the future of the Dallas Cowboy plans when we're talking about running back and Dak Prescott and wide receivers. You got to kind of have a center to do all this, and Brock Hoffman's kind of in the middle of all this.
I like Brock a lot, but this is a classic, I know his name, so he must be good situation for a lot of people. And every year when the Cowboys go to training camp, there are all sorts of fans who say things like, man, I don't know. I think insert 6th round pick is going to be really good. You're confusing think with want, and right. So there's a lot of people right now like, I think Brock's going to be based on what? Like based on literally what? I mean, the fact that you know his name, I mean, it's a fool's errand, all of this. It's a fool's errand, and there are still people who are going to drink the Kool-Aid amazingly, but it did not have to be this way. It is getting close to panic time, but they let it get here. They deserve the blame, nobody else.
As they get closer and closer to the draft, you talked about, the Cowboys have kind of broadcast their definite needs. They haven't picked up in free agency, and obviously a tackle, obviously a running back, and there's others that need to be filled, and that would give the possibility for teams to kind of swoop in, trade up, do whatever they need to do to get in front of the Cowboys, especially if they're looking for a tackle.
It's a tackle deep draft class, and that's a good thing, right? I have no problems with drafting a tackle for the future, but why would you not bring Tyron back and have that person learn from him or have that person as an added piece of depth? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to draft this guy and start him right away and expect him to be great right away. And then if he's not, what happens? Like, he gets blamed. You know what I mean? So they will have a lot of, at this point, it's kind of, they have so many holes. They're going to have to trade back at a certain point. I would not be shocked because they're going to have a lot of options at tackle at 24. They might trade back, to, I don't know, 29, 30, something like that, and hopefully pick up another 3rd round pick and still walk away with a lineman that they really like.
They do still have some time to open up some cash. I mean, but is there anybody else out there worthy of chasing? And there's not, right? I mean, there's nobody sitting out there that, I see the list of guys, but there's no rush to get them now.
Yesterday, the Cleveland Browns signed Donta Foreman, and there were a lot of people that, had already, had coped themselves into, I could see, Donta Foreman could be a guy. And so it's like, Shireen mentioned 2nd and 3rd tier names, like all the dudes that we bargained with ourselves and said, well, okay, you're not going to go this guy, but how about dudes are now gone. And so it's really difficult to find anyone at this point in time who makes sense for them because you are way past the point of relevancy in terms of dudes that are available. Maybe Stephon Gilmore is the last one that you would kind of feel good about if you're able to bring him back. But I mean, even then it would just feel kind of ho-hum at this point.
We've heard a couple of days ago from Tad Prescott. I'm just curious. We'll when we talk Cowboys again in the 8 o'clock at about 8:45 or so. Well, I've got a lot of. We're going to talk some more Cowboys in a minute, but I'm reading some scrolls here. Let's get everybody caught up on this Shohei Ohtani thing. This is a rapidly developing story. There are allegations out right now that Shohei Ohtani's translator and best friend paid off his own gambling debts, with Shohei Ohtani's money. The Ohtani did, in fact, make the payment, but he's alleging that he did it. He was being tricked, or he thought he didn't do anything wrong, but he did pay off a gambling debt for his translator. The Dodgers quickly stepped out there and sold South Korea and gave up like 6 runs in the first. They did make a little bit of run back. It's 11-8, but the Dodgers and Shohei making news the wrong way at the beginning of the Major League Baseball series season. We're going to talk about the Shohei predicament next. Get you caught up on all the stories because it's getting weird out there in Major League Baseball. This is bad news, I believe. Talking baseball with Shohei Ohtani, and it's not his elbow that's front and center. It's his gambling. Yeah, we're talking about it next. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Kareem Williams from Pro Football Talk. At what point is it fair to judge the steps that the Cowboys have taken? Because this does feel a lot like last year, although this year feels so much more dramatic.
This feels a little worse than last year, I guess, because to me it felt like there were fewer holes last year. I mean, you knew Tyron Smith's going to be your left tackle and most important positions on a team. You knew Tony Pollard, because you franchised him, was going to be your running back. You felt okay about that. It felt like there were fewer holes at this point last year than there are this year, and just trying to figure out how they're going to fill those holes. There's just so many of them. Right now, I don't see this team certainly contending for any kind of Super Bowl title. And I would love to see a fly on the wall on Mike McCarthy's offense. What is he thinking right now?
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
The ultimate March Hoops experience is in downtown Las Vegas. Don't miss out on Mega March at Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino. There's no better place to take in the action than in the 6 pools at Circa with their 143-foot screen. Experience the game's poolside with various seating options. No matter the size of your group, Stadium Swim is the place to be. Find all the Stadium Swim options at CircaLasVegas.com and join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for Mega March at Circa Resort and Casino. Book now at CircaLasVegas.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
At BetUS.com, why do we care about a college basketball tournament every March where bets mean everything? Because it's March Mania, where glory triumphs and anything can happen, where underdogs can make or break our hearts. Because it's March Mania, where brackets are broken and buzzers are beaten. And there's always been a sportsbook there for you and your best buds. Because it's March Mania. BetUS has been with you through 30 marches together. And like any good six-man, we've always had your back. And because it's March, BetUS.com is matching the mania with a mad offer. Back, 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And the extra confidence that comes from a 10% gambler's insurance. Because anything can happen during March Mania. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins. Get started today.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harm and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, and move again. Pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
94.1. You're riding with Rob and RJ. This is the Morning Huddle.
Hey, it's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. He's RJ. I'm Rob. Crazy story coming out of Seoul, South Korea. Shohei Ohtani, the brand new Dodger, their first baseman, will be a pitcher at some point. His longtime interpreter and friend, Ippei Mitsuhara, was fired by the Dodgers on Wednesday after being accused of stealing at least $4.5 million from Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani. According to ESPN's Tisha Thompson, Mitsuhara explained in a lengthy interview that he'd accumulated a hefty gambling debt. He had been gambling on the side, I guess, and his good friend Ohtani made wire transfers to pay off the debt to a bookmaker. This goes back to last October. They have tracked at least two payments directly from Ohtani of $500,000 each. This bookmaker, a guy named Boyer, was raided back in October, where they found cash, chips, banking documents, computers, and other evidence. There's a U.S. Attorney's Office that's investigating the case. But the stories have kind of changed from this interpreter. One said, well, at one point, Ohtani didn't know anything about it, and then he said he did know something about it. It's
no.
developing.
At first, he said that he did. He said that Ohtani
typed it and did it and knew everything about him.
Yeah, that he went to Ohtani and explained whatever, and Ohtani paid for it to cover him. And he sat down with ESPN for an interview after being presented at ESPN by Ohtani's reps. And after the interview, Ohtani's rep said, "No, you can't run with that story," and then changed the story on the fly to Ohtani didn't know anything about it, which in and of itself is incredibly suspicious. Now, the interpreter alleges that he has a gambling addiction, and Ohtani's reps and lawyers allege that this is a case of theft. Now, you would know better than me from a legal perspective.
I don't know anything about the law. I'm not a lawyer.
Well,
I've
but
pretended to be one. But
it's one thing to fall on the sword for your guy and get fired, right? Like in the name of your friend or whatever. It's a whole nother thing to go to jail, which he might be on the verge of, I would assume. In addition,
yeah.
Well, so the other detail here is he is alleged to have only gambled, or to have gambled on non-baseball things, NBA, NFL, Premier League action. This is admittedly speculation, but if he truly is a gambling addict and it is an addiction, wouldn't he have then felt like I need to make up some money if I'm $4.5 million in the hole.
There's so
baseball
many,
is the sport that I know the best. You get what I'm saying? Like, why would he have avoided the sport he knew the most intimately if he had an addiction and was trying to make up for it?
So he's immoral in all things, but his job. I mean, not immoral.
Exactly.
But yeah, he's playing fast and loose. But with his job, how dare I cross the line? I won't do it. Yeah, that's the utter fear, right? That the story's changed twice. We know about gambling in baseball, the long story. And the thing about baseball, you brought it up to me in a break, was you're allowed to gamble as a baseball player. You just got to follow the laws wherever you live.
Where it's legally allowed.
And you can't gamble on your sport. I mean, that goes, ask Pete. So it's not illegal for Ohtani to have gone, for Ohtani to have gambled. If he was, $4 million in debt, that's okay as long as he wasn't gambling on baseball. But he did it in a state, California, where it's not legal. It's the sports book isn't.
The other thing that I'm not to keep jumping everywhere, but like there are so many weird details. Is Ohtani's lawyers and his legal team are alleging this is a case of theft,
right?
Which again is a crime on top of the the crime of gambling. But he wired the money to him, like that part is completely and totally known. This isn't a case of like the guy went to Ohtani's safe and pulled out the cash. Ohtani knowingly and willfully wired the money to the booker on behalf of his interpreter. So how could it be a case of theft if Ohtani authorized it? You get what I'm saying?
Well, I think they're saying, by what I'm inferring, is that because Ohtani doesn't have a firm and solid grasp on the English language, that he was misled by his interpreter. That his interpreter said, do this and do that and do this. And he did it and then found out later, wait a minute, I didn't know I was doing that, which that's a weird story anyway. It's the vagaries are bringing in the bloodhounds. This story is just beginning. And every time I hear any more of it, I go, oh no, there's a lot of threads here and there's a lot of people digging. This is going to continue to run here. So worst case, what's the worst case here?
I think the worst case is Ohtani was involved in gambling,
like flat out gambling, got in debt, gambling with a bookie.
Well, he couldn't have been in debt. I mean,
obviously he paid him $100,000 in bet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In debt to the bookie, to the extent that even the passing fan, even though we know he's worth $700 million eventually,
I think
you go, this
to be
could
more
have affected
specific
stuff.
Well, the worst case is he had his interpreter do all his gambling for him, and they flubbed the wiring, and they flubbed the story, and now they're caught. That's the worst case scenario because, did he just homer, Ohtani? Oh my, no, almost.
No, he did not. He is sitting, smiling. Hey, we're smiling and sitting as well. Coming back, it's tourney time. The odds of your picks making it to the Sweet 16. Next!
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
Easter means all kinds of things, all kinds of people. To small children, it means a basket, a chocolate rabbit, and a handful of jelly beans. It means looking for colored eggs in the high grass and among the trees. For others, it means a holiday and family gatherings for a meal on a Sunday afternoon. The funny thing about Easter is that it began with a man who had been dead for 3 days coming back to life. He didn't just hit death and then bounce back into this kind of life. He hit death, pushed through it to the other side to experience what the Bible calls resurrection. It means that death does not have the last and final word. The resurrection, in a sense, puts us on a mountain and allows us to see things that are breathtakingly true but had not been seen until that moment. This is Mark Absher, the MacArthur Park Church of Christ, inviting you to join us on Easter, March 27th at 10:30 a.m. as we remember and celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. Our church is located east of the airport on Loop 410 at the Starcrest exit. You can visit us online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-952-1155. That's 800-952-1155.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you are a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you are a family member and needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Did you know that your overall health is impacted by the condition of your teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
I was diagnosed with periodontal disease.
I definitely avoided roots.
At Doctor's Implants, we understand the importance of having a healthy smile. Replacing your failing or missing teeth with full mouth dental implants can be a great way to improve your health.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile. Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. While leaning over the fence, your neighbor said you could save money bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. Your neighbor leaned over a little too much and broke your fence. Dumb news. Somehow fence wood is more expensive than wood. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and to plant really tall shrubs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
The madness is here as the NCAA men's tournament begins today. Games start at 11. The number 7 seed Texas Longhorns take on Kansas State at 5:50. Tech takes on North Carolina State at 8:40. Of course, you can catch all the tournament coverage on San Antonio's ESPN 1250. Dallas Cowboys former wide receiver, the Baltimore Ravens, and Mike McCarthy was seen at Bama's Pro Day.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got a bunch to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. That's RJ. Take a good look at him. Hey, I'm Rob Thompson. You can stare at me, too, through your device. Go to our YouTube feed, San Antonio Sports Star. We're the Morning Huddle. I hope you got your brackets all filled out. Go to the appropriate places. Mine is at sasportstar.com. I am the Mumbo King. We do have the ESPN was set aside at SA Sports Star -TMH if you want to join the group and put your entry in there, RJ. I just set that up on the break. So get your brackets going. You're about 3 hours away from the first games of the day. They'll be getting going today at 11 o'clock. Our opening game will be going off in the Spectrum Center there in Charlotte, North Carolina, as Michigan State and Mississippi State will tip at 11:15, quickly followed by Duquesne, to those of you who are unaware, and Duke, or BYU, excuse me. That'll be at 11:40. Akron, Creighton at 12:30, and it just keeps going on and on. Games you can catch live right here.
It's an exciting time, an exciting day. What more could you ask for in life in the opening round of the NCAA tournament?
A winning bracket is what we're chasing. How many are you going to put out there?
I have one bracket that I've put in a number of different places, but I'm a single bracket kind of guy.
Who do you have winning it all? And
I have UConn.
That's basic.
Who do you have?
You know, I do too, actually. And you know, coming into the tournament, I saw over the last couple of weeks what looked like a Wild West kind of outcome, where we were going to look at like last year, where we get Florida Atlantic and San Diego State and Houston and UConn, and it gets weird because we didn't have any of those guys showing up. I think there's some early upsets coming. James Madison's going to win a couple games, I feel like. I think McNeese State certainly has a shot at winning a game or two. Or the other way, you're going to get the Blue Bloods. This is going to be a tournament that ends up with our 1, 2, 3 seeds showing up.
McNeese State is who Jack the Buffalo picked to win the whole thing. Ernie Johnson told us that yesterday. Who's your Final Four?
Let me pull the appropriate one up, and I will let you know who my Final Four is. I have UConn beating Purdue in the championship game.
I have UConn beating Kentucky. I've got UConn taking out Arizona in the Final Four, and I have Kentucky edging out Purdue. So
UConn, Arizona, Houston, and Purdue are mine.
Okay, so we have 75% of the same thing. What is your Elite Eight? Because for anyone who hasn't been paying attention all week, if Rob correctly guesses 4 of the Elite 8 teams, he will sing One Shining Moment on the show while dressed as Elvis.
And that I think I'm relatively safe here. My 8 are, let's see when we get down to it here. I've got Purdue, Creighton, North Carolina, Arizona, UConn, Iowa State, Houston, Marquette.
Okay, we're close. I've got Purdue, Oregon. I think they ride for the Pac-12 a little bit. Then I've got North Carolina, Arizona. And then I've got Duke and Kentucky, and then UConn and BYU is our kind of magical story for a little bit.
As you progress through, make sure you do get signed up at sasportstar.com. The mayhem is in place, and there are prizes to be won. $1 million if you get it perfect. That's right there at sasportstar.com, along with the ESPNs, the CBSs, and all the other ones. Make sure you get them in. You're running out of time. You start looking at the upsets, and I think everybody has circled James Madison as the most obvious.
Well, Samford's picking up a lot of steam, obviously, as of late. If you still qualify that, I mean, in a literal sense, they are underdogs.
That is such a big ask for Samford. It is such a big ask. That's
to beat Kansas.
Even Kansas's walk-ons, Samford couldn't have recruited. Even their walk-ons would not even have been a recruitable player for Kansas. Now, I get teams and, all of that stuff, but on sheer talent, we're talking something that's just about possible. It would go to, if Samford could do it, it'll be right there with Maryland, Baltimore, Cali, or St. Peter's. And I would say it would be as big as anything since Maryland, Baltimore, County. As far as just outlandish, ridiculous, how on earth it is all on the blame. And, Kansas is hurt. They're not going to have McCullers, and I'm not even sure if Big Man's going to play. But even then, I can't imagine a scenario where this goes down that way.
That line is down, by the way, to 6.5. So, odds makers aren't necessarily favoring Kansas all too much anymore. I mean, that's not a big number. So it's definitely possible. I mean, of all the first round upsets, I could totally see Samford finding a way to do it. And I mean, it is kind of predictable. But to your point, James Madison's kind of that's the sexy, upset pick. It also fits your 12-5 narrative, blah, blah, blah. Everybody always looking for that. This is going to be a great day. This is going to be an incredible day of basketball.
Get yourself locked up. We're going to be live out at Twin Peaks. The party starts at 2:00 over at the De Zavala location. The Blitz will be going all day long. The extra innings from 6 to 7 as well. The live coverage of all the games, it's going to be on 1250 ESPN San Antonio on all day long, starting at 11 o'clock. Come out and join us. Let's do some housekeeping. We're playing golf on Monday. I don't have confirmation that we're completely sold out. When I last spoke to Nick Trey, we had one team left, and that was 2 days ago. I don't know, but I can say if you want to make sure you do get a chance to play, go to sasportstar.com and do your best to get yourself signed up, because Monday we're going to be live out of Golf Club of Texas. We cannot wait to be there. We want you to be there as well. In fact, your father's going to be playing in the tournament. He's going to recon the course on Sunday.
Yeah, my parents are playing and doing a practice round on Sunday, so they're taking it a lot more seriously than I think most people are. So if they don't win, it's going to be pretty embarrassing, to say the least.
Well, it's a beautiful course. We are going to be out there doing everything we can to make sure you have a good time. And anybody who has ever been at one of our tournaments knows the further you get away from the clubhouse, the stranger things get. So just keep that in mind. Are you a Stained fan?
I was thinking about this because we've been talking about it all week. I believe the song "So Far Away" from Stained is in the Punisher movie. So that's my experience. It's not that extensive. So I'm a fan.
I don't know of that movie.
The Punisher?
I know of the movie. Who was the star that plays that superhero? Is that Ben Affleck?
No, I don't know his name.
Yeah, see, that's why it's kind of one of those lesser superheroes. You want to go see Breaking Benjamin Stained, and they're bringing their special guests, Daughtry and Lakeview. It's going to be quite a show out there at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater in late October. You want to go, get on your device right this second, immediately, now, 656-3776. You can use that to win things. And if you talk to Edwin and you're caller number 4, you're going. That's a promise, but you got to get on your device right now, 656-3776, and you will be checking out Breaking Benjamin Stained along with Daughtry and Lakeview at the Germania on October the 25th. This is a Live Nation joint, and if you want to go and buy those tickets, go to livenation.com for all of those details. The tourney itself kicks today. We'll be live out at De Zavala. Tomorrow out at that beautiful location out at the Live Oak. So plan appropriately. Icy cold brew. You know what they do on Fridays above and beyond tournament day. I have a feeling there's going to be some bourbon, some barrel-aged bourbon, some icy cold balls, and lingerie, which is just really another day at Twin Peaks.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. We're going to continue bringing it on. Lots more to talk about on the Dallas Cowboy front, as while they're doing nothing, the rest of the NFL world continues to do stuff. We'll talk about pro days. Caleb, the quarterback and odds-on number 1 pick, might be landing in the most secure and best situation a rookie quarterback has landed in 30 years. That is a bold statement by many people. We'll continue looking at the Shohei Ohtani situation. We're talking Spurs. They're off today, but there's work to be done. Memphis coming into town, and Phoenix right behind that. When these back-to-backs are in play, will we see Wemby anymore? He's only got 5 more games or so to break that 65 game barrier to get all those awards. Will he play beyond that? We're talking about it next. Hang around with us. The fun's just starting. We call it the Morning Huddle. You call it your show. We'll be right back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. BetUS.com. The day is here. The mania has arrived. Take advantage. Go to BetUS.com. Call them at 1-800-MY-BET-US and get your game started, because the game begins the moment you sign up with BetUS.com, because they got all kinds of stuff for you. Drive to the rim because you got your sixth man waiting on you. Your first deposit, they're going to match it up to 125%. They're going to do that 3 times. Yes, your first 3 deposit up to 125% match. Go play with their money. Go to their casino there at that site with their money first. That's why I love BetUS.com. They've got 10% gamblers insurance. They got the live action. They got the casino, and they got the book that you need to play the games that you love. That's 1-800-MY-BET-US and BetUS.com. Go there today. Take advantage of the gifts, because what they have for you is above and beyond what they've been doing. You know, I've only endorsed one book the entire time I've been here at SA Sports Star. That is BetUS.com, because I trust them. They pay on time, they pay appropriately, and they have all the fun stuff that I love. The casino games, all the teasers, all the props, all that you want is at BetUS.com. I know you're probably playing other books, but you owe it to yourself and your book to go to 1-800-BET-US.com. BetUS.com. Take advantage of the free play. Take advantage of the insurance, but take advantage. Go to BetUS.com right now and thank me later.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th. Presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner, or online at tricountymeat.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your face. You know my car's my happy place. Keep a smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits for 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks, and you already know how San Antonio Sports Star does it. Today and tomorrow, join us for a full court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Here's your chance to call out of work and catch all the madness in the best seats in the house. That's today. We're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at De Zavala. And then tomorrow, we're doing it all again, 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks, the Live Oak location. Catch all the Basketball Madness live with us. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Join Jason and Joe from The Blitz in Las Vegas Thursday, March 28th at Circa Resort and Casino in downtown Las Vegas to celebrate the start of the season with the ceremonial first pitch by Hall of Famer Greg Maddux. Catch all the games on the Circa Las Vegas 78 million pixel screen while you feast on Coney Dogs by American Coney Dog, complimentary apple pie, and more. And oh yeah, moms, drink free. Don't miss the first day of baseball at Circa Resort and Casino. Visit circalasvegas.com for more information. Book your trip now, circalasvegas.com.
Hey, it's Jerome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. It begins today. For the next 2.5 weeks or so, we will turn our attention, at least the basketball world, for the most part, are going to shift to the college basketball scene, and the NBA will kind of take a back burner. And then, after the championship game, it is 100% forward with the NBA. But the Spurs, that's not really the thing. They're not really chasing anything. Did you see Orlando has clinched at least a play-in berth?
Good for them.
It's one of those things. It's good to see other teams going through their process and seeing success. They are, in fact, getting better. And it started with a couple of good draft picks. Paolo added, the guards are playing, and there you go, sitting in the playoffs. Spurs have a day off. They get Memphis coming into town. Wemby needed a day. His last outing was, flat. I think a lot of that was defense. I think a lot of it, he was tired. But here we sit, almost done. He's got 61 games under his belt, or is it 60?
He's at 61, yeah. So 4 away from potential nothing.
Well, no, 4 away from Rookie of the Year.
Well, yeah, I'm saying 4 away. Like, it's possible we only have 4 games left. That's what really
right. And then the high potential, the possibility of becoming Defensive Player of the Year. The odds are Gobert is a plus 600. Is that where we are? He's minus 600 right now.
Minus 600 to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year at DraftKings. Meanwhile, I'm making sure here. Gobert is. Here we go. He is minus 600. Wemby is plus 400. But they are the closest to by a wide margin. The next best odds, it's a tie between Jared Allen and Bam. They're both plus 5,000.
And Bam at 5,000.
Yeah. So it's really Rudy Gobert and then Wemby and then a massive, massive, massive gap before anybody else.
Kyrie Irving, he dismantled the Spurs when we last saw him. It was the reason that they won. He talked about playing against Wemby and the possibility of him becoming Defensive Player of the Year.
He's for sure a candidate. I don't know how he wouldn't be. Unless the game's played in minutes, but he's every Defensive Player of the Year that's won in the past few years. He's almost head and shoulders, and we still have 15 some odd games left. So I give him credit for being such a young player, but learning on the fly and doing everything he can to get his team wins.
A politically correct thing to say.
Kyrie's playing some of the best basketball in the world right now. So his basketball opinions are certainly something that I don't think anybody's ever questioned. So pretty high praise.
Listen to what he had to say about just playing on the court with Wemby playing defense. This is enough.
Yeah, you got to be aware of him late challenging, and his timing is so he has the timing of a guard. I don't know if it's just he's played against guards But I'm just saying, I think he's had a lot of reps of playing against good guards and guarding them one-on-one. Like today, I thought I had a reverse layup, and he ended up blocking it on the left side because I thought he was going to be on the right side. But he has this long wingspan, so he covers up a lot of space. And me as a competitor and a challenger, I like going in there and challenging him because if you could finish on Wemby, I feel like you could finish on anybody in the world. And he's going to block some, and he's going to make you change it, but it's only going to make you better as a basketball player. And that's what I want, and I think everybody should relish in that, but also be smart in challenging him. Because he does bait you a lot. He does do things like a defensive player of the year would. He's showing signs that he's exceeded all the defensive player of the year stats previous to guys that have won it. You guys see it. I don't know who they're going to pick, but I mean, he has all the tools to be named defensive player of the year.
Kyrie Irving post-game after dispatching the Spurs. Kyrie's playing fantastic. And I hate saying Kyrie because I like him so much. You know, sane Kyrie's always been a cool dude. Always. He's an interesting character in every sense. But when Kyrie is just being the guy that I remember when he was a freshman at Duke and just kind of finding his way, but was just this magician on the court. I love the normal and everyday Kyrie. Now the Native American flat earther, that Kyrie drives me up the wall. The self-entitled, just prima donna I can't stand. But when I hear Kyrie just reflect on the game and stuff, you put it right. He's one of the hottest guys going, and what he has to say I do think matters. And he sees something that we all see. He's the defensive player of the year.
I'm coming around to that. I was a little bit slower than most to feel this way, but
he's going to win it.
You think Wemby's going to win defensive player?
I think he's going to win defensive player of the year.
I think that's a really, I wouldn't say silly thing to say, but
I believe that the NBA, all in all, there's some beauty contest to it. And I don't think for the most part, a lot of people like Rudy Gobert just as a person. They just view him as kind of a prickly Frenchie. And, it goes back for a lot of different things. Just go ask Donovan. Just go ask Spider what he thinks about. So I do think if there was any other choice, that they would rather not give it to Gobert again, just because I don't even like the guy. So why should I give him that? And I do think that as Karl Anthony Towns is gone, that a little bit more focus on Gobert will not be the best thing for him. So I do think that in the last 3 weeks, if the Spurs choose to, they can put Wemby in a position to go get this thing. But it's a matter of how much do you want to utilize it? Do you really want to go past? Do I care? I don't want to look back on a Wemby career and wonder what happened above and beyond the record his rookie year. I don't want to look back and go, man, they stopped him at 65. He was the rookie of the year. And then the next year he stepped onto the court and he averaged 9 blocks a game and was the defensive player of the year for the next 7 years or whatever it might be. And we look back and go, how the hell did he not get it his rookie year? I don't want to have that look back and go, that was so stupid. And, we should have given it to the guy that had earned it and begun the era when it began and not a year after.
So that's what you want. You want to go for it. You want to chase it.
I think not chase it. I think by the measure he is. It's not a matter of giving it to him because he wants it. He deserves it. He is the best defender in the league. We just heard Kyrie go, I don't know what they're doing or where he's from, but this guy's been working with a lot of guards. We're talking about a 7'5" dude here. We're not even talking about him in the paint. He's talking about this guy gets it to the point where he's been working with great guards. He didn't say great big men. He didn't say powerful forwards. He said mobile, agile guards. That's the guy he's been working with. I haven't heard that kind of statement about Wemby, and he talked about his timing. When the guy in the NBA with the deepest and best bag goes, this guy's a problem. That's all I need to hear.
Look, I would love to walk with you. I just don't think it's likely. I mean, Vegas always knows. Gobert is a big favorite here. I think you're right that Wemby has a case, but I think something incredible would have to happen over the rest of the regular season in order for him to actually win it. Whether or not he deserves it is a different discussion, but you got to play the game, and I don't know that Wemby has the resume to support it right now.
And the Spurs would help that with some wins, certainly.
Right.
But if Pop decided and Wemby decided, hey, I want to go get this, I'm all in. But I just don't think that they want to. And while I agree that the numbers show that he is, I think that it will be one of those not so much about how much more he's doing to close out the season, but as long as he just maintains, he gets 70 games under his belt, and we have at least one national TV game left. I'm sure. I don't have it in front of me. I know we didn't have a lot, but I bet over the last couple of months or 6 weeks or so, we have at least one, maybe two games. And I would make a pointed effort for him to be active in those games. I would put him at the bottom of the funnel to make sure he gets those kind of things, because if you're not going to win any games, you might as well win some personal accolades. And he won't be the one that chases it. It's going to have to be Pop deciding, hey, we're going to go get you Rookie of the Year. We're going to play through the wall. We're going to get you over that 65, and we're going to give you enough of the bona fides. So we're already guaranteed to get that max contract out of the way. We'll just go ahead and get
I'm
that.
pretty certain that there are no more remaining.
See, that's a
TV
problem. See, if he doesn't have any more national TV games, he's going to have to offer at least once or twice a week for the next 5 weeks a SportsCenter top 10 highlight.
Yeah, I mean, no, they doesn't look like it. But also, you'll be pleased to know, have plans to wear the City Edition uniform a few more times.
Oh, good. They got a back-to-back. We'll see what the strategy is for Wemby as Memphis Friday. He better be playing that. And Saturday, as Phoenix comes to town, they were the victims of his first foray into the league, and he was extraordinary then. Watching Phoenix chase it might be a good night. I'm surprised that one's not on national. Saturday night in the middle of the tournament.
I mean, I think that's why it's not. Because
we got KD, you got Wemby. You're looking for names over. You're looking for player names over jerseys at this point when you're competing against the tournament itself, which you can catch live here all day long over at 1250. We're going to have all the updates you require. If you haven't already, you need to go get your brackets done. We've got one set up specifically over on ESPN. It is the Morning Huddle one if you want to just attach whatever you're doing there. And also go to sasportstar.com for our regular Mayhem perfect bracket, $1 million. Maybe you'll win several million if you'll use that same bracket several places. Hey, coming back, we do have some news about Shohei Ohtani. It ain't good. It's actually quite detrimental to the Dodgers, and he $4.5 million gambling debt, and a translator that has been fired, and a story to tell. Wait till you hear what's happened to Shohei and the Dodgers. We're talking about that next. How your bracket's doing? We have your upsets as well. Hang around. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I hope you're going into tournament Thursday feeling good. No pain, nothing keeping you out of the game. If you are, keep it to yourself. You're in a select few. But if you're like most of us, there's something bothering you, something painful that's keeping you from doing things that you love. And if you're dealing with that, stop, because you can get it fixed. Arasti is out there to do just that. Arasti providers are highly trained medical professionals with one job in mind, and that's to get you out of pain. And the way they do it is really the most important thing, because it's not about surgery and it's not about pills to hide or dull the pain. It's about them getting your body to fix itself. And man, oh man, has it worked for me. I had lower back issues a long time, most of my adult life. I just got used to it seizing up, and it taken about a month before I felt normal again. I staggered into an Arasti provider about 6 years ago dealing with it. And I'll be darned, before I knew it, I was back in the game. Half as fast as it had been before. I'm telling you, it is fast, and it worked for me, and it can for you. Whether it's lower back issues, strains, or sprains, you might have rolled an ankle, or maybe it's those tension headaches that start in the middle of your back and hit you square in the forehead. Plantar fasciitis, it can work on that as well. Frozen shoulders and hips. My goodness, if you're dealing with pain, write this number down: 1-800-404-6050. So you can use it right now, because you don't need a referral to go see an Arasti provider, and they do accept most insurances. Call them right now. Go to the website arasti.com for a map of all the providers. But do this for me: get yourself fixed. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call Arasti today. Let them work, and let them get to work on you. And before you know it, you're back in the game, and I'm sure you'll be thanking me later.
It's coming. It's almost here.
A 15 seed will head to the Elite Eight.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is your home for college basketball's national championship.
On their way to their 12th national title game.
68 teams, Sweet 16, Elite 8, the Final Four. One winner takes all. Hear it all on your home for March Madness. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, presented by Westwood One.
by texting 64000. You agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
My new exercise bike. Yeah, more like my $1,500 coat rack.
At Babbel, we get it. Learning something new is hard, especially a new language.
My Spanish starts and ends at Adios.
Make it easy on yourself with Babbel. In just 10 minutes a day, you can start having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Hola, Espanol.
It starts here. To try Babbel free, text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions. Jackson Hewitt! Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
When it's time for the March Mania brackets to bust wide open. As I was saying, it's mad. The Mania of March at BetUS.com is all about those buzzer beat bonus offers. And when the madness starts and Cinderella man steps onto the BetUS always has your back with back-to-back 125% sign-up bonuses on your first 3 deposits and even 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS.com Sportsbook and Casino, where the game... Join today. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-208-5959. That's 1-800-208-5959.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, and move again, pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
In Bexar County, 1 in 3 people have low access to healthy food since they live 1 mile or more from a grocery store. The City of San Antonio Healthy Corner Stores are helping to change that. With more than 45 member Healthy Corner Store locations, fresh fruits and vegetables are now within reach at your neighborhood store. And all Healthy Corner Stores accept SNAP benefits. For more information, visit sanantonio.gov/Healthy Corner Stores. Remember, visit sanantonio.gov/Healthy Corner Stores.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. It is tournament day. Join us out at Twin Peaks, the Dezabala location. We get started at 2. Of course, we're talking tournament. The Longhorns, they play tonight. And if the Cowboys actually do something, we will talk about it. And RJ Ochoa will be shocked.
He will be. Hey, it's the morning huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Make sure you're doing the appropriate things. If you haven't subscribed, do that immediately. Make sure you're liking on the regular and telling friends about what we're doing. News out of Seoul as Major League Baseball's first couple of games, the Dodgers and Padres going at it there in South Korea. Yesterday afternoon, the news comes out that Shohei Ohtani is a longtime friend and interpreter. What has been fired by the Dodgers. And the Dodgers and Ohtani and he are being investigated by a variety of sources. Major League Baseball, one. Looks like the U.S. attorneys are involved. And I think the IRS are very quickly going to follow. It appears that this interpreter incurred a fair amount of gambling debt. At least that's the story. And either he did convince or he lied to Ohtani, or he just outright transferred the money himself, according to the story, that he stole from Ohtani to pay off this bookie. The story started with he convincing Ohtani to pay off his debt as a friend. And then it went to he had no idea and I stole the money. That's kind of where we are, long story short. Although this interpreter did have a sit-down interview with ESPN's Tisha Thompson. And the story changed from that interview to the current story where Ohtani was thieved of $4.5 million by his interpreter. That's where the story sits today. And the grander story is, and this is going to be the existential one as we get past this one, is how do we feel about players in gambling? Because now, even though I talk about it every day. I got a book. I play. I do the more or lesses. I do the fantasies. But we can't let them soil the good name of the sport that I'm actually gambling on as the players there. But they're allowed to gamble. What if Ohtani did incur $4.5 million legally to a legal book? There's no problems as long as it wasn't on baseball.
Well, but he's a California resident,
right?
And it seems that this took place not over a legal sports book, which again would not be possible in California, but through a third-party booker.
Right. It was an illegal book.
Right. And so it is illegal. And the fishy part about this is the interpreter did this. You mentioned the sit down with ESPN, and he was presented to them by Ohtani's people. And after the sit down, Ohtani's people said, no, you can't use that. And then very quickly came back and changed the story that he had offered himself, which was Ohtani knew about this. He covered me because we're good friends, to he stole from him. That is just such an incredible about face right away. I don't know how anyone thought they could get away with this and it wouldn't look fishy to anybody.
Okay, so I've got to state, this is what it looks like. This is me supposing. There's no verification to this. But it looks to me, if you were asking by the facts as they've been presented to me now, and the way the story has changed, that Ohtani was gambling, that he was betting on stuff, probably not baseball, had a book, and got caught. See, this all started back in October. This book guy, I don't have his name in front of me, it doesn't matter. His house was raided, and they found some payment statements with Ohtani obviously behind it. It was he that sent it. Nobody else could have done it. He did it. And they found other stuff, some slips, some receipts, some chips, and all kinds of stuff to show that he is a bookmaker. I think he was gambling on it. I don't know if his baseball was involved. And his interpreter is falling on his sword for his boss with the promise of money when he does get out of prison, if he has to go to prison, or money to cover any debts that he has incurred for fines or anything like that. So Ohtani can skate clean. That's just how it appears to me, or I would think as a conspiracy theorist, like, why is this story changing so quickly at the outset if he was truly and absolutely innocent of any wrongdoing?
I agree with you. And so I would like to ask you to offer a theory then on what happened with the interpreter, because I agree with all your supposings so far in this story, but we know that Ohtani's people presented him for an interview with ESPN, perhaps in an effort to get ahead of this.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that after the interview, they told ESPN, you can't use that anymore. And then we know that they immediately brought him back and claimed that he had stolen from Ohtani and that he corroborated with that story. So he completely changed his tune. So my theory on that side of this is that they presented him, he said what he did, and they realized that they opened Ohtani up to some sort of suspension, some sort of something, and they immediately said, let's go back and change this story, not anticipating that this would all fall out of the tube the way that it has. That was probably, from a PR, if you want to call it that angle, the biggest miscalculation here, because once they had to have stuck to that story, I think. Like, trying to change the story is what made this a story, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Well, I think they were trying to absolve him of any wrongdoing by saying, helping out a friend. In fact, if you look at the transfers, each at 500,000 apiece that they were talking about in the, for those of you that never wrote a check, there used to be a line on the bottom of the check. Whenever you're doing Venmo or whatever, you could put the purpose of that. And on the slip, on the wire transfer, it said loan. So I think they were trying to absolve, showing, hey, he's just helping out a buddy. He was just, his best friend got in some trouble. He was just paying off a debt. He had nothing to do with it. And that opened him. Like, I don't care whether you're helping him out or not. We have a slip that says you gave a known bookie 2 different wire payments that I know of, $500,000 each. So good, bad, and being nice or not, you're the one paying the bookie. So you can tell whatever story you can, but you paying the bookie out of California is illegal, no matter what whether it was out of the good of your heart or whatever. And then they go, well, we can't do that.
That's why the theft story is so
ridiculous,
stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, they're claiming that now, Ohtani's lawyers are claiming that he was stolen from when he executed the wire transfer. How good? That's not theft. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't.
Well,
if there was a pocket of cash that the interpreter went and took from Ohtani's home, then that would be theft. But that Ohtani was the person who sent the wire transfers makes it really, really, really difficult to believe that you were stolen from, if that makes sense.
And they were trying to imply the fact that he doesn't speak English very well, and that it was possible that his interpreter kind of manipulated him into sending money that he didn't realize what he was doing. I don't buy that either. Okay, so let's say everything we're supposing is true. And we don't know. This is all supposition, all alleged, except for the facts as presented by the presser and when we hear from the U.S. attorneys and whoever else is investigating. If it's all true and he didn't gamble on baseball, he just was messing around and gambled a whole bunch of money elsewhere, no problem, right? We're all good.
Well, not if there is a problem. It was,
well, no, I'm
through
talking
an
about
illegal booker.
The illegal book is one thing, but if let's say it wasn't an illegal book, it was Caesar's, and he had traveled to Nevada to make them gamble.
The morality of it all isn't violated if he was gambling on non-baseball.
Whether we can all quibble whether you're using a legal book or an illegal book, and the ramifications of both. But let's just take the broad thing of just the gambling. Like, if it was just gambling and it was $4.5 million, I don't care. As long as it wasn't on the games, we're all good, right? So this could just go away if that was the case.
There's another line of thought that's coming out here.
Okay.
That Ohtani's interpreter. So this has emerged as well. He was an employee
of the Dodgers.
So they fired him, and he was making $300,000 a year. That was his salary for the because he also he interpreted I think a couple of players. Not obviously
he's got the other pitcher that was pitching today.
So I wouldn't know anything about this, but this tweet is flying around that there is not a bookie on this planet that would let him roll $4.5 million if he's making $300,000 a year. That does seem
if he's got
silly.
Ohtani behind him, though.
No, but I mean that's the point, though. Like like if you're the bookie. There's no way you're letting this guy rack this up and up and up and up when you know his salary. So that would, lend to some sort of involvement on a, knowledge level from Ohtani. It all, there is a lot of supposing happening here, but there's way too much here, I think, to be able to ultimately come away and say, I don't think that Ohtani was involved at all.
Well, I think we know he is one way or the other. And I think the morality of the gambling is going to be what's going to be on trial here. And how far are we going to allow our players to go? I mean, obviously he was a part in some way, shape, or fashion of gambling. He's admitted to it. Whether he did it or not, he knew his best friend and interpreter was active in it.
Well, it's, what is the phrase? The cover up is often worse than the crime.
Always the case.
That's what this is right here. Because I think on some level people could say, oh, this dude, again, illegal is illegal. But a lot of people would say, like, hey, the guy was just betting on the Premier League. The guy was just betting on the NBA, whatever. Like, are we really going to freak out about this? And maybe that would have led to a different discussion. But the grand lengths, it seems, to which Ohtani's people have gone to try to make it look like something else. And especially trotting this dude out immediately after his own words and 180 degrees changing his own story and having him go execute it really makes this thing a thing now. You know what I'm saying?
So what's baseball to do?
I think that you have to, I mean, if you said a moment ago, supposing all this is true, supposing Ohtani was gambling, there was an illegal bookie, there's a precedent. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but there is a precedent in the sport of baseball. And if you don't do something about it, you're really Rob. I'm an Astros fan, so like whatever. But people are so mad at Rob Manfred for how he handled the Astros scandal. So if you don't come down with the full gavel on Ohtani, if there is some sort of provable guilt here, I don't know. I mean, what do you think he does? If all this is true, if our speculation is true, what do you think happens, or what do you think they have to do?
Well, the ripple effect of this is just ridiculous because we were getting close to, we haven't quite gotten there, to the ceremonial Pete Rose Day, where we have to discuss Pete not being in the Hall of Fame. We do it every opening day. And we were almost there. We almost made the annual 365 ceremonial Pete Rose. What the hell's going on? He either needs to be or whatever. So we're moving forward with that. We're getting further and further from the place that put Pete Rose on the outside, for one thing. And I think we're getting closer and closer to the place where we start looking at gambling just as kind of it is a necessary evil. And the fact that we're going to run into this periodically is just going to be part of the cost of doing business that we are going to run into, and expect that there's going to be every couple of years a player who has crossed the line and done something stupid. We're not going to stop it. We're not going to be able to, the toothpaste is out of the tube, the genie's out of the bottle, gambling is here. And we're just going to have to begin and be force-fed the idea that this is just going to be part of the business. Every now and again, Ohtani going to do something stupid and they're going to pay a price. Maybe it's a suspension for a minute or two, but Pete Rose is going to go into the Hall of Fame. We're going to readjust that, and we're going to just accept the fact that gambling brings its evils, and we're going to have to suffer the ramifications every now and again. We're just going to have to stay watchful.
So you're saying, I think this is what you're saying, that there's one of two possible outcomes here. One is that this serves as an inflection point for gambling in baseball.
I do. Yes.
And potentially because of Ohtani's star power and what he represents to Major League Baseball from a revenue standpoint, that they're just going to simply have to change the level of integrity they've had with this.
Well, no, I think we have to change our attitude about the idea of what gambling truly means.
Sure. So either that happens or they come down with the hammer of God. Like it's one of those two things.
And that didn't work. And the hammer of God didn't work.
If we're predicting outcomes, I think that those are the only two things here. He's either going to be suspended for like 100 games.
Can you imagine?
I mean, that would be incredible. But and again, there's precedent. I mean, and I don't know again how all this works, but like I don't know how you don't open yourself up to litigation from Pete Rose if he is proven to have gambled.
Well, the Hall of Fame isn't the right. I mean,
but I mean, you could argue the earning in power that has been lost from Pete Rose. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could argue anything in court.
But I do think it will give him one more platform to stand on, because we're going to have to come to the realization that players are going to gamble. For us to think that we can gamble and do more or less and overs and unders and props and teases and all that, and just say the players aren't going to do it. You've got your head in the sand. We know it's going on.
I agree with you.
And just say, you know what? When you get caught, there's going to be a price to pay that is unfathomable, but you have to find the right guy to make an example of. And I don't think Ohtani is going to be the guy they're going to try to make an example of yet again.
I think they kind of have to, though. They have no choice. I mean,
we're talking about
they either suspend one of their biggest pieces of revenue, or they are the biggest hypocrites in the world.
They're the biggest hypocrites in the world. This isn't not just we're not talking about just like Mike Trout. We're not just talking about a great baseball player. We're talking about LeBron. We're talking about Kobe in cleats. We're talking about international, the biggest player, not just in the United States, but in the Asian perimeter as well. And we're going to say goodbye to him for 100 games. We're going to put this moniker of cheater and gambler hanging around the face of this league for the world. No, we're going to change the rules. We're going to change the rules.
It's either that, or you're the biggest hypocrites in the world. And given the way that Rob Manfred handled the Astro scandal, he uniquely doesn't have an extra light to burn. You get what I'm saying? Like he kind of used that with how he handled that. So if he doesn't come down hard on this, there's going to be a lot of people who are really, really, really upset.
Well, I can tell you who's not. That's Astros fan. Hey, Dodgers, you enjoying this?
Oh man, it is. This is going to be fascinating to watch unfold, to say the least.
Hey, speaking of unfolding, the tournament is beginning today. We're just a couple of hours away from it. Make sure you get your brackets in. Go to sasportstar.com. The mayhem is evident there. You can win $1 million. At the Four-Letter Network, we have our very own The Morning Huddle bracket. You can go to ESPN there. We are SA Sportstar-TMH. Get your entries in. Brag on them. We're talking about your possibilities. What about your first rounders? How are they going to get to the Sweet 16? The Cowboys do nothing, and Sharina is panicked. And Ohtani in hot water. So much to do in so little time. Go hydrate, carbo load, and do what's appropriate. We're going to be right back, getting you ready for a full sporting day. This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Fresh that all the way, runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Somebody's knocking the door. I walk over, and there's Toby Keith. I'm like, hey, Toby Keith. He's like, hey, is Rick James in here? I'm like, yeah. He does like to smoke the weed.
Yes, he does.
Yes. We are having some celebrities, Rick James and Dan Haggerty and
Grizzly Adams?
Wow.
Hello, Grizzly Adams.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star. The ultimate March Hoops experience is in downtown Las Vegas. Don't miss out on Mega March at Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino. There's no better place to take in the action than in the 6 pools at Circa with their 143-foot screen. Experience the games poolside with various seating options. No matter the size of your group, Stadium Swim is the place to be. Find all the Stadium Swim options at circalasvegas.com and join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for Mega March at Circa Resort and Casino. Book now at circalasvegas.com.
Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
My new exercise bike. Yeah, more like my $1,500 coat rack.
At Babbel, we get it. Learning something new is hard, especially a new language.
My Spanish starts and ends at Adios.
Make it easy on yourself with Babbel. In just 10 minutes a day, you can start having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Hola, Espanol.
It starts here. To try Babbel free, text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's San Antonio area attorneys. Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Paid for by Cordell & Cordell.
Progressive presents advice on new teen drivers.
You know, the hardest part about teaching your teen to drive is the chafing from the seatbelt. But the best part is the grip strength you build in your knuckles. Okay, now let's pull out of the driveway.
Here's another tip. Offset a chunk of the cost of adding a teen to your insurance with Progressive's Teen Driver Discount and get a break from the break. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
The basketball madness is back at Twin Peaks, and you already know how San Antonio Sports Star does it. Today and tomorrow, join us for a full court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Here's your chance to call out of work and catch all the madness in the best seats in the house. That's today. We're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at Days of Allah, and then tomorrow, we're doing it all again, 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks, the Live Oak location. Catch all the basketball madness live with us. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
94.1 FM. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The mayhem begins today as the NCAA men's basketball tournament kicks into full gear. 11 o'clock Central Time will be the beginning. University of Texas gets going today against Colorado State at 5:50. Six-seeded Texas Tech takes on North Carolina State at 8:40. Major League Baseball, Shohei Ohtani in hot water as his interpreter was fired for misappropriating $4.5 million.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembenyama three. Good! Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembenyama. Drive. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembenyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. With Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, huddle up. It's the Morning Huddle. Last hour of what has been a fun show. You missed anything, go to sasportstar.com. And right before you fill out your bracket and right after you've signed up for the golf tournament, you can listen live and go to the audio vault brought to you by A. Best Bell Bonds and catch up on all things previous. It's our podcast central. It is where you need to go if you've missed any of us. He's RJ. He's the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. Easy E driving this boat. Hey, while it's Thursday, I'm already playing golf in my mind. Monday, we're playing golf at the Golf Course of Texas, Golf Club of Texas. It is our annual spring classic, and we will be getting busy early. By my measure, what last I heard, we had one team left available. I think we're sold out.
No?
I heard 4, and that was 2 days ago. If there's still a spot there, I would be shocked, but it is what it is. But we want to thank all those that helped us get there. The party's going to be going all day long. Flight by Yingling, of course. Renee Aguilar, thank you for all that you do for us. And Sierra, the auto group, everything they're doing with us. Golf Club of Texas for hosting us. 90 Proof Bar for hosting the post party. And all those are going to be out there. It's going to be a great day. RJ and I will be doing the show live from the Golf Club of Texas. It's going to be, I saw where we're going to be doing it. RJ, bring a jacket. We will be out of doors. On
a jacket or
a parka,
a jacket and pants. I mean, like
I would dress like we're going to be up at the Golf Club of Texas. The clubhouse is kind of up at the top of this beautiful hill, and the bar, which is spectacular, kind of overlooks the driving range and this vista. We're going to be set up right there, overlooking. We can't quite see the first tee, but it's but we will be able to look over the driving range and by their spectacular bar. So. We'll be there as everybody's checking in. We'll see everybody, but we will be outside like the golfers, and we won't be mobile. And so I'm just saying, maybe Wear a jacket.
ESPN has an investigative reporter on talking Ohtani. If you are ever involved in a story to where an investigative reporter or like a lawyer has to be interviewed, it's just not a good thing.
This is not good. We will continue. This is the news of the day while the tournament is beginning. Major League Baseball rocked with news yesterday. Shohei Ohtani was making his debut there in Korea, and you know the announcement of his Dodgerness, and he's going to play through this year and get his elbow in good stead, and eventually the $700 million player will be an ace on the mound and on the plate and do everything's great. News breaks yesterday that his interpreter, longtime friend, current employee of the Dodgers, though he's known him for a while, has been implicated in a gambling scam. Whether Ohtani was involved or not, we don't know. It began the story that Ohtani had just kind of helped out a bud, give him some money to pay back a massive gambling debt. That was the story. That was the interview that this interpreter gave an ESPN reporter, Tisha Thompson. After the interview was done, Ohtani's folks came and said, nope, that's not right. Don't run with any of that. That's all not the case. The case was that this was theft, that this guy stole the money. Now, how Ohtani's name got on the wire transfers, we don't know. The initial story was he was just helping out a friend, and he, in fact, typed up the transfer and did it himself on the computer, that the interpreter witnessed him do it, just helping out a bud.
Do you think, Rob, that whether it's the interpreter or Ohtani, that they have some scratch on James Madison today? Or Sanford?
I would, here's the thing. If, let's say Mookie Betts on the same team was to fly to...
I know a pun intended, by the way, Mookie Betts.
That's why I brought him up. So let's say Mookie Betts goes to Vegas and bets on James Madison to make it to the Sweet 16. There would be no problems at all. We would congratulate him. We would want him to post his picks on the book of his choice.
There's a difference between... have I ever told you about the purple pants rule?
I don't know, but I like you saying it.
I live my life by a few creeds, and one of them is the purple pants rule, right? You've had a lot of jobs. Somebody says, Rob, I want to pay you all this money to come do this job. Great. Awesome. Here's your contract. In the contract, it says you are not allowed to wear purple pants to work on Wednesdays. That's kind of a dumb rule, right? It's kind of a silly thing. Like, why would anybody have this in the contract? But you look it over, you say, you know what? The terms, this specific term's kind of weird, but they're willing to pay me this, to do this job, whatever. I'll sign it. I'll turn it in. You then wear purple pants to work on a Wednesday, and you get fired. And somebody says, Rob, that's really stupid. You got fired for wearing purple pants.
That's a stupid rule. I shouldn't have had to abide by it.
But yes, you agreed to. You know what I'm saying?
Still a stupid rule.
But you agreed to abiding by the stupid rule. And so if you break a rule that you abide or you agree to abide by, you're the stupid person. And so here's the other thing. I mean, Shohei Ohtani seemingly has access to all sorts of people, right? Given his stature. What are you doing this, if you were doing this process this way? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be a much... I have to imagine there are athletes all over the place who find ways to circumvent the system, so to speak. This kind of like, I know J.J. Watt talked about smoking pot and how players do it, like, strategically, whatever, because you're going to get tested, this and that. Like, what are you doing it this way? This is a ridiculous way to go about this potential.
Which could lead to the argument that he is, in fact, completely innocent. That there was no intent to deceive or to hide. He was just helping a bud out. Like, I don't know the rules in America. I am but a super wealthy Japanese savant who plays baseball like no one ever. I don't know these American laws. I just know the one rule is you help a bro out, and my bro needed some help, and I could. So I sent the money. That's all I did. I didn't do anything wrong other than I sent it from California. If I'd have been in Las Vegas, if I'd have been in a myriad of other states that allowed this kind of action, and I'd have done it, nothing baseball could have said. It was a proximity sin. That's all it was. It wasn't immoral. I just happened to be sitting in L.A. instead of LV. Would have been just fine. If that's the case, I think we carry on, though I don't think that's the case.
But do we think that they bet on James Madison to win today? That's my real question.
I would like to think that they would. Of all the odds of the underdogs to make it to the Sweet 16, and RJ's valiant attempt to transition to what is truly important today.
Well, I'm
that is
excited.
turning
We're
James
really close
Madison
now.
is one of those rare underdogs. Because very rarely do you have an underdog, the likes of James Madison, that during the freaking season went into Michigan State and beat them on their court. You don't normally get that.
I'm looking at all the odds for today. Who do you think is the biggest underdog today? It's a tie.
Well, who's taking on? Well, I think it would be the number 1 overall seed.
So there are two
UConn.
teams who are 26.5-point dogs today.
And one of them would be whoever's playing UConn, and the other one would be whoever's playing Purdue.
So a close second, because we have a tie for first. Wagner is they are 24.5-point underdogs against the Tar Heels. And then we have Stetson is a 26.5-point dog
The
against
Hatters.
UConn. You called that. And the victorious Grambling, they are 26.5-point dogs against Purdue.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you're a 26.5-point underdog in the NCAA tournament.
Have you seen Purdue?
I'm not saying that it's not warranted. I'm saying that that's crazy. I mean, but it's like when Alabama plays, West Charlton State or whatever, and they're 35-point underdogs. Like, that's a crazy thing. Our first game of the day, though, Michigan State, Mississippi State, the MSU Bowl. The Spartans are only 1-point favorites. So we got a classic on the way to tip things off.
And, they probably shouldn't be. I'm going to stand by my prediction. I don't know which is going to prove the point, but I think the Big Ten is going to be proven a sham. I think that like Illinois and Wisconsin and Nebraska, a lot of these Big Ten schools that's kind of squeaked in on the reputation of others or just, the past. I think it's going to be shown yet again that the Big Ten wasn't quite up to snuff. I think that the Pac-12, even though they only got a couple of representatives, are going to represent quite well. I think they're going to show that they're playing better basketball out there. There has not been an NCAA champion that resided any further west than Waco, Texas, since 1997.
Say that again.
There has not been an NCAA basketball champion school that resides any further west than Waco since 1997.
I'm looking at the list, and I mean, obviously you were correct and knew that.
Isn't that a crazy?
And it was the Wildcats, and even then, UCLA did it in 95.
That was the last one to win in the West. That was it.
UNLV in 90. I mean, there just aren't a lot of West. I mean, Western isn't even fair, but I mean.
But west of Waco?
I mean, I'm going back really far, and like, it's really just UCLA. That's really all it is. It's UCLA and then Arizona breaking through. That's it.
It's hard to fathom when you think about how talent is dispersed and the number of schools that are out west, and the likes of Arizona and Gonzaga, just to name, and not even including UCLA, which has come the closest over the last couple of years. That no team further west than Waco or Baylor. Kansas is right there on the furthest western outpost as well.
Excuse me. Who's your final four?
I choked you up. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
My final four, I think, like most others, we're very, very top heavy. I want Houston to win. I do. I think Houston has everything in place to win it, and I'd like to see Texas get yet another national title after Baylor just a couple of years ago. I just don't think they have the shooting. I have them in the Final Four. I have UConn in the Final Four. I have Purdue in the Final Four, and Arizona in the Final Four. I think it's pretty easy for all four of those teams. I don't think they're going to be challenged a whole lot getting there.
So
all the fun stuff's going to be down at the bottom of the bracket.
You have 3 1 seeds?
I don't know. Let me quantify the exact seeding, but I believe so. Yeah. UConn, a number 1 seed. Arizona's a 2 seed. Houston and Purdue. Yeah.
So I have 2 1 seeds. I have UConn and Arizona, and I have Kentucky and Purdue. But I've got UConn beating Kentucky in the final.
Busy day today. Make sure you come out and join the Blitz and all those of like mind. They're going to be at Twin Peaks. The eats are great. The drinks are good and cold and spectacular views. Days of Vala, my home court, the busy time of the year. Get there early and stay late. Now, they're going to start broadcasting at 2. When they're done at 6, James Pledger will tag in and take that extra innings all the way till 7 o'clock. And we're going to do it all again tomorrow. Tomorrow, brand new location for us, though not relatively new for everybody else. Live Oak, the brand new one on the northeast side. We'll be there at 2 and stay till 7. All the games on. Today we get Texas. Tomorrow we get A&M. Texas is in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I don't think either one of us took them to win.
No. Colorado State, baby. Go Rams.
The state of Colorado in good stead. If you watched the first 4 last night, Colorado comes back, and there's a potential spur. We were told on that on the Colorado roster. Williams, Jalen Williams' younger brother, CJ Cody. No, I got a full game of him. He's good, but no. Spurs fans, watch the Kentucky game today.
You're decreeing no.
See, this is the project that typical Spurs would draft if they were drafting 30th and were in the playoffs and trying to get a championship. That's the guy you get then. He's not the guy we get now. Let's talk about them Spurs as they round down their homestand. They're welcoming in Memphis, and then very quickly with a back-to-backer against Phoenix. How do we close out this road run, and how much longer are we going to get to see Victor Wembanyama impress us? Because that 65 games, that bare minimum is just around the corner. We're talking Spurs next, looking around the rest of the NFL as even Shereen Williams, Mother Football, is panicking over the Cowboys situation. Hang with us. There's a lot to get done, and it won't be any fun unless you're with us. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. BetUS.com is my book. They have been my book for as long as I've been over at the Radio Ranch here. I've never endorsed another book. You know why? Because I go with those that I trust, and I have for quite some time with BetUS, and now they've made it easy for everybody to get involved. When I first started with them, I went with them for trust. Now you can go with them for the cash involved. See, they've got a program right now. Your first 3 deposits, they're going to match up to 125%. And if you're bringing crypto, up to 200%. That's 3 separate deposits. You got your 10% gambler's insurance always. And what I love about BetUS more than any other book is it's got everything in one place for me, because they also have the casino action. You're looking for live action, they've got that as well. All the teasers, all the props, everything you need to have some fun during the maniacal period that we're in the middle of. But you got to sign up. How do you do it? 2 ways. You can go to betus.com and get going. I called 1-800-MY-BETUS. I talked, they typed, and before you know it, I was playing. And I got that deposit bonus immediately. So what do you need to do? Go to betus.com. Call them at 1-800-MY-BETUS. Either way, get yourself signed up, taking advantage of what they've gotten, and I promise you won't leave, just like me. They've been around for 30 years. They ain't going anywhere. You're going to be with them as well. That's betus.com. Go there now. Thank me later.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Ancira Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Puro San Antonio football is back at the Alamo Dome. Join the herd and watch your Brahmas in the best seats at the best prices. Single, season, and group tickets are available now. Don't miss any Brahmas action this season, led by legendary head coach Wade Phillips. The Brahmas kick off the season March 31st against the DC Defenders in the Alamo Dome. Let's pack the Dome. Experience the excitement. Head to theufl.com to buy your Brahmas tickets today. That's theufl.com. Vamos Brahmas!
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Seems like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Hi, I'm Jade, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the savoriness of the sausage, the fluffiness of the egg, and the butteriness of the biscuit. It's amazing. The perfect start to my day.
Hi, everyone. It's Justin. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the fluffy egg, the melted cheese, and the sizzling sausage. It's the start to your morning that you didn't know you need.
Order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and Simply Orange juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-737-9944. That's 1-800-737-9944. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-737-9944. That's 1-800-737-9944.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercial.
Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. This U.S. promotional offer not available in D.C., Mississippi, North Carolina, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. For West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Check out the 2024 Basketball Mayhem at sasportstar.com. Enter your best bracket for the chance to win an incredible $1 million prize at sasportstar.com.
And so it begins. It's tourney day. Don't forget, you can catch the games on our channel here at 94.1 when we're not talking, but constantly over at 1250, our ESPN outlet. If it's on, it's there. Make sure you're there. And if you want to be with us there, the Blitz will be there at the Twin Peaks out on Days of Island I-10. Broadcast gets going at 10. Our crack engineer on crack, Greg, will be out there earlier. You can go hang out with Greg if you'd like. You might bring Josie, which is really the only reason you want to see Greg is he brings his dog. I look back on this week and I think of names that came and went. Like, remember Yinka Dare and the George Washington run? What was that, 30 years ago? Still, that school made its name. You get the sense that James Madison is about to be a name we're going to remember. There's going to be a player on a team that's going to make a name that we're never going to forget in the next couple of days. I love Tournament Thursday. Best sporting day of the year.
It is going to be incredible.
We'll
to say the least.
We'll go through all week through. I cannot wait to see how we get going. And there's going to be a massive disappointment today or tomorrow. Number one is going to go down. Somebody's going to stub their toe. They always do. A one or a two is going to go down. Can't wait. It's here. Make sure you get your bracket in sasportstar.com. There's $1 million riding there. There's millions everywhere. I mean, if you get the same, if you're right and you put it in everywhere, same bracket and you're right, you can put it in, you can win $10-15 million in the next couple of days.
Do you think this is one of the, like, we talked yesterday about how sometimes you feel like you've seen it all in the world of sports, and like, you're just like, oh, there's nothing new that could possibly happen. Do you think we will ever see a perfect bracket in our lifetime?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, like it will definitely happen at some point. I mean, it's really, 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 really difficult. It's almost impossible, but it feels like it has to happen. Maybe this is the
I
year.
think we
Maybe it's
have
you.
had one. I think there's already been one at some point in the last decade. Didn't we have one not long ago?
I'm very certain that we did. So
I think the infinite possibilities. Of course, it's possible. I mean, the infinite possibilities rule is you put enough monkeys in the room with typewriters. Eventually, over time, one of them is going to type a Shakespearean sonnet. I mean, that's just so. I guess it's possible. And if anybody can do it, it's me.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, why not me?
What if you authored the perfect bracket this
And
week?
didn't enter it? I just put it on paper and just thumbtacked it up and legitimately didn't turn it in.
That would be amazing.
That would be the greatest gift to mankind of all. And I would just go running into the darkness. Just go screaming into the darkness, never to be seen or heard from again, if that was in fact the case. So don't let future regret take over your life.
You
Get
still have time.
your entrance in.
You have about an hour and 45 minutes to get a bracket in, get a bracket done. You believe this is the best day of the sporting calendar?
It is. There's no question for me. I mean, but I'm a basketball guy. But you think about what we get, and the what makes it great is it's coming. That we know the Thursday is coming. We know the date, and it's going to be great. It's not maybe it'll be great, and it's not, well, I got 4 games scheduled in 2 weeks, and everything works out, and all are hot. Then I'll get maybe 2 great games stacked together. No. Goes from 11 to 11. We got 12 hours of greatness. And a star is going to be born. A shot is going to be hit. A kid's going to do something ridiculous that we're never going to forget. And it's going to be today and tomorrow.
I mean, it's not just today and tomorrow. It's the most saturated today and tomorrow. And that's part of what makes it feel incredible is there's something happening every second of every moment.
You're right, but that's the story for the next 2 days. And then after tomorrow night, then the momentum story goes. Then you get the momentum. Who has it indeed to get past the 16 and get to the 8? Who can get from now after Sunday night? Who can get to Saturday? I mean, if you can get to Saturday, that's all and then if you can get to Saturday, all I got to do is get to next Saturday.
Yeah. There's a lot of bartering going on. Just one more. Just one more. We just got to get one more.
Potential. Today, it's going to be interesting to watch. The early surprise is North Carolina State. The coach
that was chance.
They just got a chance. They get through the tournament, and they bring a unique style of basketball. Well, not a unique style, but they got a unique dude on their team. And so you're looking for names that are going to be talked about over the next couple of days. Wait till you see Tech and North Carolina State go at it today. If you haven't seen State play, they have if anybody who's been listening to me over the years knows there's one thing that I love amongst more than anything else in all of sports, and that is a fat place kicker. I like a chunky, thick kicker. I think it just lends itself to the game. I want a kicker that could take on a defensive lineman if you had to.
So,
second after that is a big center, the kind that needed the 5XL shorts and still can't get it over his butt crack. The big center, big guy that sweats chicken grease. That guy, they got one.
This is an oddly specific archetype.
His name is DJ Burns Jr. He's not even the biggest dude in his house. You should meet his daddy. I don't know, but DJ Burns Jr. is my second favorite player coming in. Because North Carolina State's on a roll, and they, I don't want them to take down Tech, but it'd be a good story.
How do you see the Texas teams faring this weekend?
We are a basketball state.
We've got Baylor and Colgate. So Baylor, right? There's not a real question there.
Only team in jeopardy. We got 2 teams in jeopardy. Texas and A&M are both.
I would put Texas Tech in jeopardy. From your board.
Yeah.
So Texas has Colorado State. And we've got TCU's got Utah State. You mentioned A&M has Nebraska in the Trev Alberts Bowl. And then Texas Tech has North Carolina State. And obviously Houston has Longwood, but let's be real. So
Houston's going to the Final
Baylor
Four.
The easiest bets.
Houston and Baylor will battle it out all the way in for a couple of weekends. A&M will win a game. Texas will not. Neither will Tech.
You're saying Texas and Texas Tech both lose.
Probably. And A&M, I think it's a toss-up. I think they've got an easier matchup, though, than Texas does. Even though Nebraska's a higher D1 school, I think that Texas got some trouble coming their way.
That Colorado State team's plucky.
And
what about TCU and Utah State?
Utah State just doesn't have enough gunpowder. You know what I mean? And I think we're going to see the Big 12 is everything we thought it was. They're all really good, no greats, and I think that'll be represented in two of the teams from the Big 12 that move on. In the SEC, I think that it ain't going to be pretty. Kentucky, though, they didn't win the conference. Tennessee was the best team in the SEC all year, but they look eminently beatable. Although I like their Kid Connect. And Kentucky is the team that's made up of future pros that always play well in the tournament like this. So I think Kentucky will shine yet again. And the rest of the SEC, you'll get some patchwork stuff. But we're going to come out of this going, the Big East was underrepresented along with the Mountain West. I think all three of those teams and the Mountain West, all three of their guys, all win to start things out.
And the Big Ten is full of frauds.
And the Big Ten's full of frauds. Wisconsin's going to let you down. Purdue might drop the baggage and get there, but that'll be about the only one.
Man, Wisconsin's got that JMU. Wisconsin has a chance to ruin the weekend for a lot of people because I think a lot of people are excited about JMU, and if Wisconsin just goes out and crushes them, it'll be really disappointing.
And it's again, we're not talking favorite, we're talking upset. Though James Madison is headed toward favorite. I'm really interested to see what the line looks like right before tip because a lot of money is landing that way, along with McNeese State and others. Hey, we're going to continue looking at the tournament. If you have any thoughts on that, let us know. We all need our help. Make sure you're getting your brackets done. Go to sasportstar.com, get that in. If you want to go to and use it again, go to ESPN, the national one. We have our own group. It is SA Sportstar TMH for the morning huddle. You can get your stuff in there. Hey, coming back, we're talking brackets, but more importantly, things that matter like the NFL. No movement on the Dallas Cowboys front. Shereen Williams is afraid, and Caleb could be landing in the softest position any quarterback has landed in 3 decades. We're looking around the league next. Hold on tight. It won't be any fun without you. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I woke up this morning, stepped into a Connecticut water softened shower, and all was right with the world because it is tournament day. When you get a Connecticut, the last thing you need to think about is your water because it's getting taken care of. But without one, things you need to be worried about. All that water coming out of the aquifer, coming through our city pipes and into your house. It makes some good sweet tea. I'm not going to kid you, and good Kool-Aid, but I'll tell you what, there's stuff in your pipes. You don't want that stuff there. Eventually it clogs up, and then you're starting to deal with a guy with rubber boots on, and you don't want to do that. Call Connecticut today. They'll come out and put a Connecticut water softener in your home for 90 days and not ask you for a penny. They're going to prove to you what I know, and most of your neighbors know. They've got the last water softener they're ever going to need or want to own in a Connecticut. So give yourself an opportunity to find out. Call them today at 656-PURE and let them come out. And if 90 days I'm not telling you the truth, Mr. Knipp will come out and take that away and you'll part as friends. But I'll tell you what, on that 91st day, you're going to sign up with Connecticut. You're going to get you a water softener that you're never going to need to worry about again. The last water softener you're ever going to own. Go to ConnecticutSA.com for all the details. But remember the number, 656-PURE. Call them today. Get the Connecticut you need. Get the Connecticut you deserve. And I'm sure you're going to be thanking me later.
It's coming. It's almost here.
A 15 seed will head to the Elite Eights.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is your home for college basketball's national championship.
On their way to their 12th national title game.
68 teams, Sweet 16, Elite 8, the Final Four. One winner takes all. Hear it all on your home for March Madness. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, presented by Westwood One.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz in Las Vegas Thursday, March 28th at Circa Resort and Casino in downtown Las Vegas to celebrate the start of the season with the ceremonial first pitch by Hall of Famer Greg Maddux. Catch all the games on the Circa Las Vegas 78 million pixel screen while you feast on Coney Dogs by American Coney Dog, complimentary apple pie, and more. And oh yeah, moms, drink free. Don't miss the first day of baseball at Circa Resort and Casino. Visit circalasvegas.com for more information. Book your trip now. circalasvegas.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks, and you already know how San Antonio Sports Star does it. Today and tomorrow, join us for a full-court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Here's your chance to call out of work and catch all the madness in the best seats in the house. That's today. We're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at Days of Allah, and then tomorrow, we're doing it all again, 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks, the Live Oak location. Catch all the Basketball Madness live with us. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Head over to Hulu this March, where our new shows and movies will keep you streaming all month long. Catch the award-winning movie Poor Things, starring Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, and Willem Dafoe. Check out the new documentary, Freaknik, The Wildest Party Never Told, about the iconic Atlanta street party. And don't miss FX's Shogun, a reimagining of the epic tale, starring Anna Sawai. So, what are you waiting for? Go stream something new on Hulu.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car.
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
94.1 FM. Wake up with the Morning Huddle.
All right, bracketologists. Money where your mouth is. There's millions at stake. Get your brackets filled out. Get them in at sasportstar.com and wherever you choose to go. In the NFL world, the Dallas Cowboys continue to sit on their hands, waiting for things to fall to the market level that they're comfortable with. Yesterday, Stephen, who was he talking to when he brought this up? But the gist of the conversation with Stephen Jones of the Cowboys was that they see the free agent market as way overvalued. That this year, more than others, even though they're never active, but this year they didn't see any value to be had, and they're just waiting for things to shake out. In which, on its face, you go, that's a wise and informed move. Be bearish. If you don't see value, don't throw good money after bad just because you need something. Wait, get the value that's required. That's how you win. Right? No?
In a vacuum, that makes sense. It makes sense not to want to overpay anybody, but you have to spend money at some point. And you can't have a roster full of deals. You can't have a roster full of bargains. It's not a real way to go about building a team. it's a disconnection from reality, which has always been where the Cowboys are at. That's how they've gotten themselves in these pickles. They have never, contrary to popular belief, when it comes down to the foundational cornerstone players, they have never won a deal.
Now, that's this year. I mean, this year, if they were using that excuse and say, well, this year we just don't see it, and we really don't have that much money anyway, but they've never been in the market. I mean, they're just not a free agent type of team. And when you're winning and you can brag about built, not bought, that sounds really cool, but nobody gets to do that anymore. You have to go buy. You have to buy some things. And they keep telling us, listen to Shireen Williams. We love Shireen because she used to be on the Cowboys beat, but she's an NFL writer. I mean, she's got the experience, and more importantly, she's got the long-term view of the NFL. She's seen things come and go before. And when you hear the likes of Shireen look at this situation and start going, there's a problem here. I think that combined with RJ's ongoing, I think even for me, you start thinking this is even worse than we imagined.
Okay, let's just say, though, that they didn't want to keep any of these guys, all right? Who are you replacing them with? Like, who's left to sign in free agency? Are you going to draft 40 guys to come in and be your depth player? Like, you don't have that many draft picks. Is it undrafted free agents you're counting on? Like, I don't understand. I do understand them not going out on the free agent market because this is what they've done. We talked about this. It's 2013, 2012. They spent all that money on Brandon Carr and all these other guys. This is their ammo, but they've never let guys walk away like this. So you start looking at all the holes, and I said last week it's not time to panic yet. It's getting close, just from the standpoint of I don't know who's your starting left tackle. I don't know who's your starting center. I don't know who's your starting running back. I don't know who's your third receiver. You know, there's just all these important holes on the roster that you're running out of time to sign even second and third tier free agents on 1-year deals, which is what we're now seeing. We're into that 1-year deal phase to help you. So it's getting close to that time to panic. It almost feels like a soft tank. We don't have the money to spend on anybody. We haven't redone Dak's contract. So at this point, let's just let him play out this year on the contract. Let's stay with the guys that we have. You know what? If we get a higher draft pick, then that's okay. We'll just start a rebuild. That's almost what it feels like. I don't think that's probably what they're doing, but that's certainly what it looks like on the outside. Again, I would like to think that they have a plan, and I don't know what that plan is.
Neither do we. Shireen Williams, NFL writer, joining the Blitz day before yesterday, talking about the lack of a plan. And the term for the day, and this you can tell this is going to stick. Soft tank. This is going to stick.
What would be? I'm asking. What would be the purpose in that? What would be the circumstances in which any tank, soft or hard, would be the most logical choice and the best choice?
Well, it's not the best choice, nor the most logical, but it sounds to me like the soft tank is kind of like fixing the glitch. We're just going to let things play out. Sometimes there's an episode in The Office where James Spader, that when the series was dying, sometimes the flowers sort themselves. I think the Cowboys are kind of like, we're just going to let this whole thing play out. We're going to let the Dak thing expire. Oh, and it's going to bite us in the ass. We know it's coming. We're going to let the offensive line just depart. We're going to let all of the middling free agents that matter to winning teams go away. And we're going to fix the glitch. And we're going to let all this kind of expire. And we're going to stand far away from it so that all of the explosion and the mess really ain't going to land on us because we're not going to make a decision. We're just going to let everything just kind of play out.
I just don't understand what would need fixing. They're a team that was seemingly on the cusp.
Oh, well, we know what needs fixing.
What? I mean, what is it then?
It's not about the regular season. It's about winning big games. That's the only thing that needs to be fixed. But they can't. They're not going to fix it.
How does this accomplish the goal of fixing?
It doesn't. It erases the board. They're not fixing anything. They're letting it. It's a soft tank. By inactivity, they're letting it happen. They're not going to do anything, and they're going to pay the price for it. A soft tank.
But again, what is the motivation to wipe the board?
By their inactivity, yes.
So the motivation here, living in your hypothetical.
Oh, not hypothetical. This is what's happening.
No, but like the motivation is let's wipe the board, let's just purge, and we'll start anew.
I don't think they want to say goodbye to Dak, but they have to say goodbye to Dak, or vice. You could switch that. They want to say goodbye to Dak, but they can't. Whatever the case is, it's the Dak problem, and they can't figure out what to do. And they don't want. They're damned if they do in their mind, and damned if they don't. So they're just going to let it play out.
Okay, what about McCarthy?
Oh, he's done. It's all about
why
Dak.
did they fire him? You know what I mean? Like, why?
Because
why
he's
not
cheaper.
fire him?
Because I'm going to have to hire a new coach, and the new coach I hire is going to have to do it with a wasteland of no quarterback and no money to spend. And McCarthy, I would have fired him with some money on his contract if I extended it, because he ain't staying. And I wasn't going to fire him with 1 year left, because nobody's going to come and take this gig, because I ain't going to fix the problem. So this guy's going to ride the boat out. He's going to sink.
It just seems like an insane overreaction.
Yeah, well, underreact. Yes, under or over.
We have to completely purge instead of challenging for anything serious in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And the all-in thing is so silly at this point in time. But to say that if the plan truly was wiping the board, was playing with all kinds of fire, because people were gonna expect you to do something, and to literally do the most nothing you've ever done is quite the response to that. So look, Shireen is among the most stable, unflappable, full of wisdom people that cover and have ever covered the NFL, not just the Cowboys beat, as you mentioned. So for Shireen to be asking these questions in a pontificating sort of way, like who's going to be this, who's going to be that, blah, 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 really suggests that the Cowboys are doing something so incredibly dumb that everyone in NFL circles is doubting their philosophy.
What do you think of the defense from Steven saying, well, we would have liked to have spent what little money we did have, but we didn't see any value there. We didn't want to overpay.
I think Steven's full of it and has no idea how this works, because while I can totally buy that you don't want to spend ridiculous money, the idea that there's nobody who can help you is so dumb and so silly and so lazy, honestly. You're going to have to overpay. That's the way this works. You're going to have to overpay at really any point. Even the players who you negotiate your own deals with, you're going to have to overpay. We've been talking about, you're going to have to Godfather offer CeeDee. You're going to have to Godfather offer Micah. You're going to have to Godfather offer Dak. The Steven seems to think that he can win these deals. He doesn't. He lost the first bout of contractual negotiations with Dak. He lost all of the contract negotiations with DeMarcus Lawrence. He completely got put into a corner by Zeke Elliott and blinked and gave Zeke the biggest contract for a running back, obviously, in recent NFL history. I mean, anytime that he's in a position where he has to think his way out of it, he folds and he overpays. And so, this is not somebody who has earned the right to thumb their nose at any part of team building process.
Around the rest of the league, pro days are going on. We saw Caleb work out. Well, I didn't see it, but by every measure, he must have looked spectacular. He must have looked really, really good, considering the way everybody danced away from his pro day. It looks like Chicago has made the right move, and they're gonna land a quarterback. Who was it that said it's the best landing spot for a number one overall drafted quarterback in 30 years?
That was your boy Dan Orlovsky.
Dan, is that a fair statement?
Normally, teams that have the number one overall pick, obviously, were really, really, really bad, right? Like that's the way it works. Every now and then, you have a team who trades up for the number one overall pick, but they don't have a lot of capital or resources in the future because they mortgaged it to go get the number one overall pick. Look at the Panthers last year. And so, you look at what the Bears have. They have a rookie quarterback contract window that they're taking advantage of already. They have DJ Moore, who they acquired in the trade, obviously, last year. They acquired Keenan Allen themselves, and that was an overpay. He's getting paid a lot of money, probably too much, but you know what? You can afford that because you're being strategic about how you're doing things. So there's a statistic. I know you love DVOA, right? You're a big DVOA guy.
It is one of those stats that I guess you can justify at certain times. No, I'm not a fan of DVOA.
DVOA measures efficiency in the NFL, which is
over expectations or whatever. I don't know how. Okay.
So there's a certain type of DVOA that's called weighted DVOA. And what that means is it takes more into consideration recent games to kind of get a picture and a vibe on how you're playing right now, as opposed to the season as a whole. That's a valuable thing, in week 14 or 15 or whatever. The Chicago Bears finished the season 11th in weighted DVOA. So they were really kind of starting to find themselves as a team, and some of that was the trade for Montez Sweat and kind of their defense figuring things out. They have Jalen Johnson. They got him, got the long-term deal done, and they were able to obviously flip Justin Fields and get a little bit of capital there. It is difficult to find a circumstance that was more soft in terms of landing for a number 1 overall pick than what's going to be the case here for Caleb Williams. I mean, I don't know that I think the Bears are a playoff team right away, but they're not far away from competing legitimately in the NFC North.
A ridiculously fast turnaround from those on the outside, but a long one in the process for those on the inside. The way that he might literally change the fortunes of a team that's trying to build a new stadium. It seems like man's meeting moment in a perfect land. But we haven't got a chance to get into it, and now is the appropriate time. John Calipari was talking yesterday about the tournament, and there's been a move afoot as the NCAA football tournament is now here, that more is better. We're already playing essentially a 68-team tournament, and there's some talk about maybe wanting to expand it to 80 teams. Is that a bad thing on his face?
I would love to see more schools get an opportunity, but I think we've kind of found the right number, and that yields the right Cinderella teams. So I have a hard time seeing how 80 makes sense, personally.
I mean, isn't more better though? I mean, aren't we looking for Hickory High School? Aren't we looking for the Florida Atlantics, the mid majors to make the run? Really? And if we open it up to say 12 more teams,
Rob, there are 2 teams that are 26.5-point underdogs today. We really want more of that.
Well, okay, now that's a valid point. So maybe I'm not talking about the 26-point underdog miracle, just happy to be here teams. But what about, say, thinking of a team that didn't make it this year that normally does? Let's look at the Big Ten. I'm watching an Ohio State game last night.
Indiana.
Indiana. I mean, the teams that were right there, it would be a bit more competitive. And I think a lot of people think, well, if you expand it to 80, it'll open the door to more mid-majors. No, it won't.
But would it really be more competitive, or would we just feel better because teams that we're used to making it would make it?
That's what
would we have felt better if Virginia had made the actual tournament as opposed to the first 4? No, because they got smoked. It's the reality is it's hard to find 64 teams that are legitimate, as evidenced by the fact that there's 2 26.5-point favorites today. There's 1 24.5-point favorite. You're already dealing with a wide-ranging disparity amongst teams at the very top and very bottom of a 64-team tournament.
Tom Izzo talked about the situation he found himself in, not accustomed to having Michigan State as a bubble team. So he had to kind of wait to see who last in, first out for all that the Joey Brackett's lingo. And while I don't think he's advocating for more teams, I think he's looking for a more defined way of how you getting in. This bubble thing sucks. Well, that bubble thing sucks for Izzo, but we love it. We love the bubble, first in, first out, last 4, last out. You go to 80, that's over. I mean, you just get in line. You got a pulse, you're in. There's no need to expand it past the 68. We have reached maximum density. There's the 69th best teams, probably better than some that are in the tournament, and it'll always be the case. But I don't think we need to add another day, another conference, another team. We've got enough. I like that people get left out. We appreciate 68. It is the right number. And I remember when it was 32 and then it went to 48. And you're like, oh boy, are there enough basketball teams to do this? And we were proving that we were. And there's enough basketball to get 80, but I don't think the overall the overall enjoyment factor would improve at all.
20 hours from now, as we're getting ready to start tomorrow's show, how many misses will you have had today in your bracket?
If it's typical, a third. If it's pretty typical, 1 and 3 is going to be wrong. I just hope that my progress through the first round, all those teams are there. But the first round, pretty typical. A third are gone. And if that's, if that maintains, then you're out of it pretty quick. But I think that this is such a top-heavy tournament that most people are going to be pretty much involved for a couple of days because nobody goes all upsets, at least on every bracket.
I think that I'm going to have 3 teams wrong. That's my number that I'm predicting.
Well, that's far better than me. A couple other things to pay close attention to as we get through the day. We're talking a lot of college sports, and we haven't had a chance to talk about it over the last 2 days, but we could be seeing the end of the ACC here in the next couple of weeks, as Florida State and Clemson are both suing to get out of their grant and rights deal, the thing that we were talking about before. And it seems so late in the day in the game here. I'm trying to figure out where they want to go.
I don't know where they can go. Like, I don't know that the SEC wants to divvy up the pie anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or the Big Ten, for that matter. I mean, those are your 2 super conferences at this point. So, I mean, what makes sense for them at this point?
Very interesting to follow this week.
It's weird, but ACC's next, it seems, to get Pac-12.
And keep in mind, SMU is funding their own bill and taking no TV money to join the ACC, and they're watching Florida State and Clemson try to get the heck out. So SMU might be paying a little bit more close attention to all that. Hey, guys, come out and join us today. We're so excited. We're out at Twin Peaks, the place to be for the tournament. Get there early, stay late. We'll be going from 2 to 7. The Blitz gets busy, and then James, we're letting him out of the glass box of fun. He is RJ Ochoa. I am Rob Thompson. We are eager to see you. Easy E, thanks for all that you did today. Any final words, RJ, as we head into Big Friday from Small?
I just saw a Dan Orlovsky tweet where he said he's never used the snooze button.
Lies! We'll see you tomorrow.
KTFM Floresville.